What's going on, Drinking Buddies? Brand new episode coming right at you. But real quick, word from our sponsors, those fine folks that bring you this episode and many others, week after week after week. First and foremost, we are brought to you by the video versions of Now We Drink. The video versions are available now on Vimeo. 99 cents an episode or $6 will get you streaming everything. I'm trying to wrap up the 5 episodes I'm behind on, and then I will drop like 20 episodes at once. It's fucking ridiculous. But in the meantime, check out the 16 episodes that are up now at www.anwd.net/videos. They're a lot of fucking fun. There might be some nudity. This week, we're also brought to you by our friends at Loot Crate. Loot Crate is the monthly mystery crate that delivers the best in geek and gaming gear. From collectibles, apparel, tech gadgets, art, and other epic gear, it's like Comic-Con in a box with a little less cosplay and a little less waiting at Hall H. For less than $20 a month, you get 68 items that include gear, apparel, collectibles, and unique one-of-a-kind items and more. You have to the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. When the cutoff happens, that's it. It's over. So sign up today at www.trylootcrate.com/ANWD and enter the code BRIDGE10 to save 10% on a new subscription. We are also brought to you this week by our friends at Vinyl Me Please. Vinyl Me Please is the Record of the Month Club, the best damn Record of the Month Club. In fact, every month, Vinyl Me Please features one album that is essential to the modern vinyl collection and sends it to its thousands of members worldwide. Each record is pressed exclusively Vinyl Me Please and comes packaged with things you can't get anywhere else. Things like bonus tracks, inserts, color variants, and comes packaged with a 12x12 album-inspired art print and custom cocktail pairing recipe. You can't beat it. Rad vinyl, rad art, new cocktails. 2 of my favorite things in life, music and fucking booze, guys. So Vinyl Me Please isn't like Record of the Month clubs of old. It's month to month, no strings attached, cancel anytime. If you're looking to beef up your vinyl collection, check out Vinyl Me Please today at www.joinvmp.com/ANWD. Once again, that is www.joinvmp.com/ANWD. Last but not least, we are brought to you by the OG sponsor, our homies at Laughable. Laughable is the #1 comedy podcast app on iOS and soon to be Google Play. There have been some changes to Laughable, folks. For our iOS users, Laughable is no longer exclusively free. It is now $2 a month, but we'll have exclusive features that you can't get anywhere else. Exclusive comedy, exclusive podcasts. And I believe in Laughable. I believe in their vision. I believe in what they're doing. They are the best fucking podcast app out there. $2 measly for less than the cost of a fucking venti coffee. You should support fucking Laughable. Download it now. Give them your $2 measly. Do it. To be fair, Drinking Buddies, I pay for the fucking app. I believe in them so much that I'm paying the $2. So if I'm going to pay for it, you should too. Download Laughable today. Subscribe to your favorite podcasts and podcasters. Get recommendations in-app. Get exclusive content. Spend that $2. So download Laughable today and find funny. This week's episode is with adult performer Ryder Skye. Ryder and I talk about all sorts of shit. The state of the industry, some arts and crafts projects. It was a lot of fucking fun. So sit back, pop a cold one, and enjoy, Drinking Buddies.
When aliens come to take over, they look at us like we're out of our minds now. We're gonna galactic makeover, and now we're thinking that they just might be right. I cannot wait for this whole world to end. I'm gonna break out the bottle with my friends. I think they'll tell the best stories when we're gone. And now we drink.
Hey, Ryder, what's going on? Welcome to the humble abode. Welcome to Now We Drink.
Thank you.
I'm super thrilled that you didn't have to go far to get here. Most people are like, oh, I had to come down from Chatsworth. Or...
No, I actually grew up in the Valley, so I'm very happy to be far away from the Valley and in Hollywood instead.
Yeah, you're like, I'm on the civilized side of the hill. Forget the Valley.
Oh, the Valley's awful. I know.
Yeah.
There's nothing good about the Valley.
No, not at all. The only good thing that the Valley's got going for it is the all-you-can-eat sushi place I go to is in Sherman Oaks.
I've never been there. I'm always scared of the all-you-can-eat sushi places just because I don't know why it's all you can, like all you can eat because is the sushi good? I mean, it seems a little sketchy sometimes.
It's good enough. It's never gotten me sick.
There you go. That's good.
It's tasty. It's still $35 a head, and you figure the average person isn't eating more than like 2-3 rolls.
That's true. That's
so
fair.
it comes out to like 30 a head. I make money on it because I'm a fat kid, and I'm just keep bringing me fish. Keep it coming. I still don't feel sick. Just keep bringing the fish. Once I've overeaten, I'm like, okay, that was a mistake. Shouldn't have gotten that last roll. Oh god. So that's when I've got my money's worth.
I'm probably a sushi snob because I'm Japanese, so I grew up with it. Like my dad used to actually make it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, he used to buy like the full thing, like the big slabs of fish, and just cut it himself.
That's awesome. Like you go out to the fish market in the morning and
we go. I don't even know where he got. There's just like a fish store and fish stores. The fish store, is there a fish store?
I think there's fish stores. I'm pretty sure there are.
A fish market, yeah. And you just buy like there's one thing that's really funny. It's one of my favorite things. I don't know if you've ever had it. It's called Mutagai is the name for it, but it says giant clam. It's this. It's the most phallic thing ever. It's this giant clam, right? But coming out of it is this long wrinkled thing. And that's actually what you eat. And it looks like a giant penis.
Is that the thing that you bite off the tip and it squirts?
No. I don't know that one.
Oh, there's been a bunch of videos of like Asian girls bite.
That sounds really disgusting, though.
Eh.
I mean, anything that... I don't know. It just sounds gross.
I don't know how I'm going to Google this. I was just about to write in squirting Asian, and I'm like, I know what I'm going to get when I type that in. That's not what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah, but it's actually one of the best. It's so good. And it's crazy because it's a giant mussel. And so what they do is they usually take it and they hit it against the table and it tenses up. And so it's crunchier.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. You should try it sometime.
I'm down.
You have to go to a really, really authentic Japanese sushi bar, though, in order to find it. Because they usually don't have it, like all these like little ones. They don't.
I'll just wait till I go back to Japan.
Oh, you've been to Japan?
I've been in Tokyo twice.
Oh. I'm at 2 too. I feel like there's only one I remember because I was really young the first time.
That doesn't really count.
It doesn't. I don't even know the second one does either. I was like 13. But I loved it. It was awesome.
Tokyo is the only place in the world I've gone to twice outside of the U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's super cool, right?
My favorite place. My absolute favorite place. My audience is probably really sick of me talking about it. How much I love Tokyo. I love the work hard, play hard culture. I love the architecture. I love the people. Even when they're being really uncool to me, they're so polite about it. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. Japanese people are super cool. I remember the subways and how they would just close on people. There'd be people like literally like trying to get the like briefcase through the subway, and just the doors would just be closing on them.
And the guy that shoves people in during rush hour, like, get in there,
during
sardines.
rush hour is insane.
Well, the city swells up to 30 million people during the day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's absolutely fucking nuts. I just didn't even check my camera angle, and I finally got it right first try. Awesome. Like, oh yeah, I probably should have made sure I was in frame. I'm in frame. How'd that happen? Pat myself on the back. Yeah. Been a little hungover and already did a show earlier today, so
it's good. Power through it.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. It's like I could nap, but no, that will just end in tears. Like you'd be like, ding, 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 ding. Where the hell is this asshole? He confirmed. What? Oh yeah, I gotta do a show. Shit.
Am I dreaming this?
I was so drunk I slept on the bathroom floor last night.
Seriously? Oh, that must have been a fun night.
It was a good time.
Do you remember it?
Parts of it. Last thing I remember is going to Jumbo's Clown Room.
Oh.
Apparently my buddy's in from Austin, and that's part of the reason hit it hard last night. It's like he's never been to LA, so showing him around. So Jumbo's was bar number 5.
Oh, okay. What, strip club number 5 or bar number 5?
Bar number 5.
Okay.
I don't consider Jumbo's a strip club.
It's not really. I mean, I don't even know how they dance in there. I used to work over at Cheetah's, and I remember going to Jumbo's going like, where's this isn't a stage. How do they even, or how they're not kicking people in the face when they're like trying to do it's so small. Everything's so small. But it's cool.
It's a fun spot.
Yeah, it's always usually, well, every time I've seen it, it's been packed.
Monday night's not so packed, but it was still a good time.
It's actually really small, so I guess it would always be packed.
Most part, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Monday night's like the one night you can safely get in there and like, okay, there's not going to be a line. It's not going to be shoulder to shoulder, but the shitty part is on Monday night, it's pretty much just dudes in there.
Oh, really?
It's like, oh, well, this isn't the cool vibe that it normally has.
Yeah.
So, and then apparently we ended up at Harvard and Stone, which I don't remember.
I don't know that.
It's 2 doors down from Jumbo. It's a Houston Brothers bar.
Oh.
It's a cool spot. I don't remember being there last night.
Oh, well, but you were. Supposedly.
I trust my buddy. I trust my buddy. Then apparently I was a big dick on the way home.
Usually that can happen.
Yeah, just stumbling, pinballing my way down the street. And then I apparently puked my brains out when I got home.
Well, maybe less of a hangover today, maybe.
Oh, I wasn't really all that hungover today.
Oh,
A little bit. Just a little. It wasn't one of those like, oh, my body. Why? Why did I do myself hangovers? It was like, I'm a little sluggish. Oh, I could probably. Oh, God, why?
It's the signs of a professional drinker.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. What was super confusing was my buddy, being a good friend, put a pillow and a blanket on me in the bathroom.
Very sweet.
I woke up super confused. Because I've passed out on the bathroom floor before after a hard night of drinking. I have never gotten my pillow and blanket to do it. So I'm like, did I do this? Because at first I was just like, wait a minute. This doesn't feel like my bed, but I'm under my blanket and my pillow. Like, stand up, I'm like, I'm in the bath. What? I've never gotten my pillow and blanket and gone into the bathroom before. Usually I just puke and kind of pass out holding the toilet. What is going on here? I'm not going to think about it too hard. Just went into bed and crashed back out.
Yeah. It's the drunk fairy.
Apparently.
looking out for you.
You're not much of a drinker.
No, not anymore. I kind of, it's weird how that kind of happened. I used to go, it was webcamming a lot. When I was webcamming a lot, I used to have a drink every day just to get myself like, comfortable enough to webcam. Not that I was uncomfortable webcamming, but it was just like more like just be more whatever.
Loosen up a little.
Yeah. And so I used to have like a drink every single day, but then I switched. So I started this company, t-shirt company, and I was working a lot. And so I couldn't drink, because I was always doing, and I was working from home. So I was always doing something, and I was trying to get that going because I had a business partner whose money it was that I was using. And so therefore I had a lot of pressure to like make it something. And so during that time is when I kind of just like stopped drinking because I didn't really have time to as much.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Since then I've just been, I guess just doing that. And also because it screwed up my schedule. And so now I'm like a night person. I'm not really a day person. So I'm doing a lot of stuff at night. So I can't really drink it. It's just weird. I just stopped drinking. And now I'm such a lightweight. It's kind of like, it's like, I have one drink. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
And that's awesome. I wish I had that problem. Because I don't even want to look at my bank statement and see how much I spent on alcohol last night.
Well, I make up for it in shopping in general. I spend a lot of money for that. So, even if I had an alcohol issue too, it would be really bad. I wouldn't have any money to be on the street, basically, with my Ross shopping bags.
So you're just buying high fashion?
No, I don't actually buy that much. As far as clothes go, I don't buy that much because I'm like, so I make a lot of my own stuff. But I have this ongoing redoing my apartment. Like, it's an apartment, right? You don't really do much apartment. I did everything to my apartment. I don't know. I really don't think I was supposed to, but it looks a lot better now. But yeah, I like redid the entire place. And so that includes like decorating and doing all that shit. So I'm always finding new things. And then I get bored easy. So then I have to constantly change it, like the color of the walls and like everything in it. So I'm always needing to buy stuff for that. It's like, it's an ongoing project. I keep saying it's almost done. Not done yet. It's been done maybe 3 times though.
Hey, that's awesome. And
I'm like a regular at Home Depot. Like, they know me there.
Like, oh, right this way. You get the priority line.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I've seen people come and go there. It's like really funny. Like, I even had like this one chick who works there. She's like, oh shit, I didn't know his name. There's one guy who worked there and I didn't know his name. I still totally forgot. But he was the nicest guy, and he was always like, oh, what are you working on today? Like, what project are you working on? And so I talked to him, and he was just so sweet, and he got transferred. And so this other girl who worked there, she's like, oh, whatever his name is, I feel so bad I don't remember it. It's like, yeah, he wanted me to tell you that he says hello, and that he's really sad that he doesn't get to see you all the time now. Like, that's how much I go there.
That's awesome.
I have like actual personal relationships with like the people there because it's like I'm there all the time. They all know what I'm up to. Like, it's like, yeah.
Everyone but your landlord knows what you're up to.
Oh, yes. My landlord's an asshole, though, so it's okay.
Are you at least in a rent-controlled place?
Yes.
Oh.
I think, is it everywhere in Hollywood? Oh,
No.
It has to be built before 1985 or something like that.
79.
79 is what it is? Yeah, my place is old. It's so old. Actually, the whole place is falling apart. I mean, the guy's, there's so many things wrong with it that he's so cheap, the landlord, that he won't do anything to it.
Yeah, it sounds like my old place. When I first moved to town, I was living in Little Armenia in a rent-controlled place. And part of the reason I moved out of that place was they just didn't maintain the building. Every other week, like, the elevator would be broken. And it's like, oh, cool, I'm on one of the high floors. Broken elevator. Cool. Just roaches in the hallway occasionally.
That's gross, yeah. That's awful. My place, I think is like, I have such a cool place because it's like a bungalow. It has no shared walls. So it's individual. I have a balcony. I have a patio. So I have like a pretty large area. It's a 1-bedroom. It was a studio converted to a 1-bedroom. It's not huge, but it's by itself. And it's like old Hollywood style, the archway, the archways, all that kind of stuff. It's awesome. So like, I never want to move there. It's funny too, because everyone always has their eye on my place. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, don't even think about it. I'm like, I put a lot of money into this place already. I'm like, I'm not, that's the thing is I don't plan on buying anything. So for me, it's like to redo this. It's not like I'm wasting my money because I've been there for 8 years or something like that. But yeah, the landlord is so cheap. I had literally a leak for most of how long I've lived there. And every single time it would rain, it would break through and it would leak all into my place. And then they'd come over and they'd patch it. And then it happened again. And they'd patch it and it happened again. I told them, I'm like, you need to fix the roof. The problem is the roof. I'm like, you patching it on the inside is not going to do anything because it just breaks through and then I have a bunch of water flooding into my place.
And then you get mold and
that's the other thing too. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure there's a mold problem. I'm like, and so I almost sued them. Like, there's a whole thing where I was like trying to find a lawyer to like sue because he was such a dick about it. I'm like, I have emails going back like 4 or 5 years asking for this to be fixed, and it's still not fixed. And I'm like, and if there's mold in there, we're gonna have a problem. And there might be. I actually had a mushroom growing through my ceiling.
yeah, there's definitely mold.
You think so? Yeah, you think? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe just a little. Maybe
Yeah.
just,
A mushroom growing out of my ceiling.
yeah. And no lawyer took the case?
No, and I didn't really want to pay because I didn't, I don't. But he's the guy. He's such a dick. I was so unhappy. Oh, and I was sexually harassed by the maintenance guy who is not allowed to come near me now because he.
Why does that guy still have a job?
Oh no, he was promoted. Not only he was promoted and he's been on. So every time they change management companies, he's the only one that stays working for them. This guy. Oh my! I shouldn't say his name.
Probably not. I'll bleep it out.
Okay, good. I'm like, I don't even know why I said that. But anyways, so yeah, no, this guy.
You should not say that lives at.
Yeah, and his address is and his phone number.
Yeah,
Social security number.
Don't dox him on the internet. It won't end well.
But yeah, so that's that's just goes to show you how on top of their shit they just keep promoting him.
Well, and that's the thing. I feel landlords that have rent-controlled buildings are just like, I don't care if you leave. Someone else will move in.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but because I've been there so long and I'm so good about paying rent and everything, I think that they have so much turnover and they have so many buildings that it's like one less thing to deal with. So they kind of do like they'll do like the bare minimum just to like kind of like keep you to like quiet a little bit. I mean, it took me a year to get a new dishwasher after mine broke. A year.
A year, that is.
And they gave me a used one that then broke a year later, and then they not less than a year later, and then they blamed me for it breaking it, even though, and then it turned out there was a part that was like messed up in it, like it was like, so it had nothing to do with me, but it was like it's that kind of thing. It's that difficult to get something fixed. Like it's like you have to jump through hoops to just like convince them that it needs to be replaced. But it's like it's ancient. It's like you bought me an ancient dishwasher to replace a broken one.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And then you're mad that it broke again.
This is one of those things like, I'm going to buy the dishwasher. I'm just not going to pay it out of the rent. I'm just going to take it out of the rent.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where like my refrigerator, I just bought a new one. I'm like, I bought a new one. It's not a great one, but it works,
Did your apartment come without a refrigerator?
No, it came with one, but it was a piece of crap.
Yeah, that blew my mind when my first place in LA. I'm like, why is there no fridge? Like, oh, you got to get your own. They hooked me up with a guy, of course, that they knew.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, oh, I got a guy.
Yeah.
Sold me the fridge. And then when I moved out, I'm like, keep the fridge. I'm moving into a place that has one. I don't need a second refrigerator.
Yeah, it's yeah. But I do have a washer and dryer, which is fantastic because a lot of places in Hollywood do not have a washer and dryer.
Yeah, I won't move into a place that at least doesn't have a washer dryer in the building. I got to have a parking spot and a washer dryer in the building.
That was actually mine too. The parking spot is just huge, especially in there. There's no parking. It's insane. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna come back after working all day and look 2 hours for a freaking parking spot and then just to park 2 miles from
right. I mean, I'm in a bad situation now. I have 2 cars.
Oh, that's tough.
But the second car, I'm only moving on street cleaning days, really. It's like, okay, well, I'll move it on street cleaning days, move it into the garage in a spot that's not really supposed to have a car in it. And then when street cleaning's over, just run it back out and put it back on the street.
Luckily, there's actually a street that's right, perpendicular to mine that actually has no street cleaning ever.
Awesome.
Yes, and so that's the secret spot that you always you can keep your car there if you need to. If you need to, you can keep it there for as long as you want, as long as you're parked within the lines of But yeah, that's the secret though. Then you don't have to worry about street cleaning. Street cleaning can be bitch too.
Yeah.
Right on the right spot. I don't remember what side is it. Go look at the sides. Oh God.
I have them memorized around here just because I do it enough. But I loaned my buddy my car, while we were out and about. I'm like, when you park it, make sure to park it on the Monday side. I don't want to have to come deal with this tomorrow. So I don't see any signs. I'm like, there are signs. Make sure you're on the Monday side.
There's always signs.
There's always signs. This is LA. They're looking. There will be a sign just so they can be like, we told you.
Yeah.
Enjoy your $80 ticket.
Yes, I know. Yeah, so please take my money, please, for bullshit like this.
Yeah. Already enjoyed the super expensive market that we're in.
I know, seriously.
And $80 tickets.
I'm surprised we all haven't gotten the idea to just stop paying taxes, every single person. What would happen then?
Well, the government arrests you for that.
No, everybody, though. If everybody stopped paying taxes at once, what would they do?
We can't get everyone to even vote. So I don't think we can get people to just universally stop paying taxes.
I know, but wouldn't that be great?
Yes and no until firemen aren't getting paid. And
well, yeah, you have to probably come up with a whole other system, I guess.
That's a little problematic because, I don't really expect firefighters to run into a burning building unpaid.
That's how they get paid?
Yeah, through taxes.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, police, fire, all the first responders.
I used to want to be a cop.
Did you?
Once upon a time.
How far in the process did you get?
I passed the first test, and then it was really I was very honest when I gave them the background a little,
Oh, the psych test?
Not the psych test. That was more I think it was one of the preliminary tests that was where you have to say whether or not you've done drugs, and that was the one I was honest about. I wasn't 100% honest, but I was pretty honest, and because I didn't think it was a big deal. But they're between police chiefs at the time, and they had a zero tolerance policy, and so they rejected me, and I actually cried. Can you believe that? I was so upset. But I wanted to be a cop because I was at home one day, and these 2 cops showed up at my door because of some problem with the neighbor. And one of the cops was this little girl who was 5 feet tall, and she was little, and I'm like, if she could do it, I can do it. I'm like, I want to do it. Yeah, I'm so glad I'm not a cop. I'm so glad that didn't work out for me. But I did pass the first test though, but I know there's 7 or 8 of them or something.
Yeah, they're pretty stringent, and it's crazy who gets through to actually be cops.
Yeah, it's surprising actually considering, and especially the whole mental health aspect. You think that they'd be pretty good about the psych thing, but then sometimes
Well, I mean, there are plenty of good cops out there, but I feel like once cops have been on the job for a long time and have gone through some shit, seen some shit, dealt with some other cops that may not be the best people, it
changes someone.
Yeah, it changes someone. I'm sure most people who became police officers got into it because they really wanted to help their fellow man. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you just wake up one day and you're like, I want to be a cop because I want to shake people down and shoot unarmed civilians.
Yeah.
I'd like to believe that people get into that job with the right intentions and then they just hit a snag somewhere along the way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they don't all hit the snag. I mean,
we all become products of our experience, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's just amazing how go into something with the best intentions and just oh, no, due to previous bad experiences, just something goes awry. I was actually just talking to my buddy about that, about my love life. I'm like,
that's a loaded one.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, yeah, I may be a little action-packed with issues.
Yeah, who isn't? When it comes to that, oh my God. I've got a whole freaking, a 5-story building filled with baggage.
Especially in this town. It's just
It's tough. LA's tough. It's an interesting one. I feel like everybody comes here thinking that they're supposed to be something. Like there's the LA type of person, but the LA type of person actually isn't. Like the actual LA person is so different from what everybody thinks the LA person is. Because it's like the people that I know that are from LA, that are actually from LA, are so down to earth and like just like because we just sit back and see everything. We don't really like. We never came with any expectations of what we think we're supposed to be and whatever.
well, I also think that it also depends on what neighborhood you come in and what circumstances you're coming up. Because I've definitely met some celebrities' kids who are not the best people.
Oh, who are from here?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that just the whole wealth, like growing up in that environment of just like wealth and getting everything you want. That right there will definitely that's definitely not typical, But I definitely think that money screws people up.
Yeah, if you've never had to work for anything.
Oh yeah, no,
it just fucks up things.
Yeah, because it's like that, and then the sense of entitlement, and I mean, there's so much to that, but that's definitely never having to work. I think that there is definitely something to say about having to work hard for your money and like having to earn something and get like the satisfaction of like actually like putting in the effort and then seeing what you get back from it.
And facing possible disappointment when things don't go right.
Yes, and not just getting things like just whenever you want. I mean, that I definitely makes kind of a waste of a person, to be honest. For the most part, I mean, not in every situation. There are some people who have better values. Maybe I don't know.
I think it all depends on how your parents are.
Yeah, definitely how you're raised. That was the thing is that my parents they didn't like my dad came here with $100 in his pocket from Japan and he had nothing. And he's a millionaire now because he worked his ass off, and he was successful. But because he had to do that, he always taught me like you have to work hard. Like everything was always about working hard, and you have to earn like my credit score is like the most important thing to me. Like it's like that's like a reflection of who I am, and my credit score got down to really low at one point. And it was like I'm over. It's over. It's all over. But like it's like I was taught that you need to work you need to work hard and be focused and know what you want, blah, blah, blah. So, it just depends.
Well, and I also think that's just cultural Japanese right there.
Oh, the work hard aspect? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, he never really, like, pushed me to go to school or anything. Like, I mean, I went to college, but that was more my mom. My dad was like, just learn how to type. That's all you need to do. I'm like, oh, thanks, Dad. Dream big.
Dad's like, you can be a secretary. It's cool.
Yeah, it's really what he's like. It's all you expected of me. I'm like, you have a company. And you're not even going to be like, yeah, I'm going to train you to take over the company. I was like, no. No, I don't think so. So.
Why? Why is it just like, why did he not want to get into the family business?
I don't know. Never really asked it. I don't think he had really high expectations of me in general. Just I think that's what it was. Because he said, don't go to school. He's like, you don't waste your money. Just learn how to type. That's what he used to always say. But my mom's like, you're going to be the first person to go to college. You're going to go to college. It's like, we need you to go to college. And so.
Well, that's interesting because it's like, well, your dad made millions without going to college.
Yes, he did. He was an artist, though. He was he was one of those people who was lucky enough to be skilled and very creative, a very creative person, very talented in art. Also business, which is not ways,
No, that rarely happens.
Yeah, I'm a very artistic. I am awful at the business. Like that's the thing is I have like a jewelry store. I make jewelry and I make clothing, this or that, but I can make it all day long. I get ideas every second. But when it comes to selling it, I'm awful. I'm just awful with when it comes to money, I don't like dealing with money. Like, I don't like talking about money and dealing with money, so I just am like, just take it. And I end up giving shit away because I'm just like, I don't like dealing with the money aspect, the business aspect. I'm terrible when it comes to that. But I can make things like crazy. I have so much shit. I was like inventory up the ass, but I just can't sell it for shit.
What all are you making? You're making jewelry. You're making clothing. What else?
What else?
Yeah.
What else do I make?
Yeah.
Well, like I mean, not to sell, but I do like I started doing like tiling, like mosaics and stuff like that. I just started doing just for fun. So I've actually built tables and then did a mosaic on them.
That's awesome.
And I like to build things too. That's why I like the Home Depot aspect. Like I literally I refinished my floors. I refinished them, but then I ended up after that just actually putting flooring over my flooring, so it looks much better. But I had a little issue. I went through like three hand sanders when I was refinishing my floors, and I broke all of them. Thank God for Home Depot's return policy. But but yeah, I I like building things. I like anything really that has to. I paint. I mean, I don't paint. I haven't painted in a while, but I can do that too. I have had a bunch of paintings I've done. I could pretty much anything I had a t-shirt company. I used to screen print. I learned how to screen print and do like heat press and all that. I had all the equipment for it. Like I used to say that I turned my apartment into a mini factory because I had like all the different stations of like to do all the stuff.
You're like the dye's here, the screen printing's here.
Most people just like send it off to get it done. No, I said I can do it myself. That's what I say about everything. I'll do it myself. So I know how to do a lot of stuff. I mean, I even learned how to do plumbing and stuff like that to fix my place.
That's awesome.
And electrician.
You're probably much more handy than I am.
I could fix a lot.
Yeah.
Mediocre, though. Let me just be clear about this. In a very mediocre fashion. I can do it all. And I usually will do it wrong about 3 times before I get it right. But I will finally figure it out because I'm very stubborn and I'll keep going at it until I do.
See, I just get frustrated. I'm like, fuck this. I'm hiring somebody.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, no, I can do it myself. And I end up spending way more because I mess it up so many times. But then I'm like determined and I always do figure it out because it's very rare. Plumbing is the one thing I hate plumbing. I don't know why anyone wants to be a plumber. I think it's the most awful job ever. And I hate it because I suck at it. But like, and I have hired someone because I actually did at one point give up, which I hate saying, but I did. But like, there are certain things, but for the most part, I always try to figure out myself first. And if I can't do it, then I'll.
Well, I think people want to become a plumber just because it's a good, it's a good paying job. And not a lot of people want to do it.
I have to say though, that, I mean, they definitely earn their money because it's an awful job.
Oh yeah. And if you're just dealing with what people flush down the toilet, like not even just human excrement, just stupid things like tampons and all sorts.
I got my old maintenance guy. This is a long time ago. I had a fish tank and I had this this big fish, and he died, and I flushed him down the toilet, and then my toilet ended up clogging. And I called him, and he's like, "What did you put down here?" I'm like, "Well, I kind of flushed my fish. It was a little big." And he's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "What? That's what you're supposed to do with them." Right? You flush them down the toilet. They didn't say there's a size limit on them.
But there is.
Apparently, I have really, really thin, small pipes.
Oh, it made it out of the toilet and stuck somewhere in the pipes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
I know.
Like, if it was in, like, the toilet part of it, they could snake it out. Like, it's down the... Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't get to it right away. It probably started to smell.
I don't know if it got that. No, it didn't get that far. He at the time, the maintenance guy, he was pretty good. That was before this one, who now isn't allowed in my apartment. They always have to find someone else, so that makes me even more difficult, and that's why the owner hates me even more, is because they're like, now we have to find some alternative maintenance guy to come see you, because you need special, because, and well, I'm sorry, I'm not like to get back in my place.
Yeah, he was a creep.
Oh, he was such a creep. He told me, he asked to see my full tattoo, which he knew went all the way down, like my entire side. It's possible he might have known who I was, just because it was way too inappropriate to say just to anybody. And he saw that I had a stripper pole, and he asked me to strip for him, and he said he had $100 for me if I took my clothes off. And I was alone in my apartment. I'm like, seriously, inappropriate, so inappropriate. And
yeah, that's super inappropriate.
Oh my god, what? What? And I'm the only one that happened to. So it's possible he might have just thought that he could get,
Well, yeah, even if he doesn't recognize you, it's still you're a sex worker, aren't you? And
maybe, yeah.
But
I don't think I come off as one.
Well,
but the stripper pole inside the middle of my living room could have been something.
Yeah, he could have just been like, "Oh, she got a stripper pole. Maybe if she's not a sex worker, she has a fantasy about being one, and I got 100 for you, girl."
Oh, so inappropriate. He's such a creep, and they didn't believe me. The manager that was there, when I told him about the guy, he laughed. He thought it was hilarious, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, okay.
That's fucked.
Oh, it's so bad. Then I went to the owner after that, and I'm like, because the thing is that I'd been holding off on having anything done because I didn't want to deal with it. So I just didn't call him. And I'm like, finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to say something because this is ridiculous. I shouldn't not.
You shouldn't feel uncomfortable in your own fucking home.
Yeah. And at the time I lived alone, and so it was it was really it was just so inappropriate. And so now I've been kind of a bitch ever since because they keep hiring new management companies, but they keep bringing this guy with them everywhere. Every time they get a new one, this guy is still the same maintenance guy. I'm like, what is going on there? I don't know.
He's like herpes. He just never goes away.
Seriously.
It's like, dude, can I just be rid of you, please?
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe he'll just drop dead at some point.
But I did, for the most part, figure out how to do everything myself, though. Because even with the plumbing, they're like, oh, we're going to have to get a plumber here. And I go and look at it, and there's a huge hole in the the P-trap. The hole, like through the metal, there's a hole. It like burned through. And I'm like, and you don't know why it's leaking. And so I'm like, okay. And I just went to Home Depot, bought a new one, replaced it, and fixed it. And I'm like, you guys needed a plumber for this? I'm like, I just figured it out. And I didn't even need to like, I'm like, it took 2 seconds because there's a hole in it. I'm like, that's why it's leaking. Like, it's not brain surgery.
Oh my God. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Fun times.
Definitely.
My life sounds so interesting, doesn't it? It's really interesting.
You're building shit at Home Depot. That's fucking awesome. Like,
I just don't like being bored.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, boredom is what is death.
It's awful. Well, the thing is if everything slows down, then I start getting like I like drop the ball on everything. Like I have to have a good like pace. Like my life has to be running at a good pace for me to keep up with everything and be on top of everything. Otherwise, if it starts to slow down, then everything does, and I just start like I don't do simple things, and it's just like so I have to keep like moving. I'm always moving.
There's nothing wrong with that. What's the old saying? Rolling stone gathers no moss.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely, and especially in this town, like always just hustling and always doing stuff is much better than just sitting around twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, I don't know how people can do it. Some people just like sitting around just watching TV all day. And like, how do you do it? I can't do that. I can't not get something done during the day. Like I have to be like somewhat productive, or else I feel like I wasted.
So yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with it. Like I'll sit down and just veg out for a day, and then feel super guilty that I did it. Like, oh, there's so much shit I need to get done.
Yeah.
And feel super guilty that I didn't get anything done. But on the other hand, it's like you need those days for your mental health occasionally.
Yeah, and I do have a way of finding like this the list of things I need to do, and there's a list of things that I want to do. And I tend to look really busy, but all the need to do stuff tends to get like pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And like, well, I did a lot today, only unfortunately it wasn't any of the necessary things.
I didn't go grocery shopping, but mosaic the table.
Yeah. I know that's the thing is I get caught up in these projects and then my place gets like completely in shambles like when I do it. And then it's like I need to finish it, but then it takes so long and there's all these things I need to be doing and I'm not doing them, just trying to get this in, and this stuff is so unnecessary. It's just like for me.
Hey, that doesn't make it unnecessary. It just, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to not just sit around and twiddle your thumbs, as I said. No, it's necessary. It may not be as productive as another thing, but it's necessary.
Well, I consider the fact that I'm always learning new things in the process, so that's something, right? Like, it's like I'm constantly learning. That's like, so it's like a new skill that I'm going to be mediocre at.
For now.
Yeah.
Eventually you'll be proficient at it.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Or do you get distracted by something else and never get back to it?
No, I do. I do get... Okay, that does happen, where I get distracted because I'm super ADHD. I mean, like, super. It's bad. I usually have 5 projects, like, happening at once, and I rotate through them. So it's like I always tell people, like, I'm going to finish it. It's just going to take me a little bit longer because I have all these other things I'm doing at the same time. So it's not like I'm just focusing on one thing. So I do, like, 5 different things, and I just literally rotate through because I get bored. So I'll be like, okay, I'll do this for... I am bored of that. I'm going to start this again, and I'll just jump from place to place. But yeah, so it's like, I mean... There's only a couple things that I actually like will work at until I'm good. And that's like the sewing thing, like the making clothes, like that thing. That's something like if I like I'll design something and then I'll make it and then I'll make it like another 5 times just so I can get it down where I don't even have to like think about it anymore. So I'll do that, like, I'll work at something like that. But like other things I'm not really trying to be like the best at it. I'm just trying to just figure it out.
That's awesome. So when you're making shirts, like what sort of designs, like what do you...
Oh, for designs wise for clothing, I have a ton of these vintage 1960s, 1970s patterns that I will make and then redesign into something like a little more, usually sluttier. Because some of them are kind of conservative. I mean, I do like the bell bottoms. Like I'm 100% all about like whole like wide legs with pants with like the bell bottom look. The fucking skinny jean things, I'm sorry, I never really warmed up to it. I feel like it's only, like, they're made for tall, skinny girls, not just everybody. And it became a just everybody thing when they decided to add spandex to it and then made these, like, jeans that look like jeans, but they're spandex. So
yeah.
They fit anybody, but they're not made for, like, everyone's body.
As the movie Hackers once said, spandex is a privilege, not a right.
Yes, it is. It very much is. And so that's the thing is that like I've never really liked that. And So I never did that. that whole thing. And so I tried, just like redesign them so I have like that's the style, and then I just make it a little bit more like modern-ish, but still have the flair of like the 70s, because some of the fashion that like back then was just so cool. And I'm like a total hippie, hence the tie-dye.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and I tie-dye too.
Very cool.
I made this dress.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
I like to just tie-dye things and cut them up and like t-shirts and stuff. I do the t-shirt cutting, all kinds of shit like that.
So if you watch the video version, you can see the amazing outfit.
Yeah.
If you're just on audio, you have to imagine it.
Yes, it's his dress. That's tie-dyed. That's about it. That's about it.
Yeah. So considered a crop top, right?
It's or not crop top. It's It's a sleeveless. Like it's a tube top.
Tube top. Okay.
Type of thing.
I'm a dude. I don't know.
I don't even know. I made it.
It's okay. So, you gone to any shows recently? Like
shows,
music?
What's last? Oh no, I haven't been to a concert in a while. I'm going to see Monsters and Men in September. But my music style is like I'm really into like classic rock. Like I
kind of figured with the hippie vibe.
Yeah, like I like the Stones. I heard the Stones just played.
They did.
And I missed it. I didn't even know. And I'm so upset that I missed it because I didn't know, and that's my fault. And I'm so bummed because I've not seen them. I'd love to see them once before they die.
Yeah, the Stones just played. Dead and Company played a couple months ago.
There's this one concert that I'm still, to this day, I'm going to regret it forever. But that I missed. That wasn't, that was like a few years ago when it was the Stones and it was Bob Dylan and the Who. And they all played at Coachella. They all played over there. And it was right on my birthday. And I didn't go, and I'm so upset.
Why didn't you go?
It was probably the last time they're all going to play together too.
Yeah, people in that lineup are going to be dead soon.
I know, and the fact that I haven't seen, I'm so upset. I was definitely born in the wrong generation for sure, because I just watched Woodstock, that documentary.
Because it's the 50th anniversary this year.
Oh, is it? The documentary is incredible. It's so cool. It was it's so cool. Nothing like that will ever happen again.
No, we proved it in Woodstock 99.
Oh, God, I know.
People raping each other, starting fires, throwing shit.
No, because the whole point of that one was the fact that they all were there with no rules whatsoever, and they managed to find ways to get through it. Because there was they ran out of food at one point, and they started making food for each other, and getting the town was donating food to. I mean, it was so cool. And now it's really. And what is that? Is it just what? I'm gonna blame it all on the narcissist generation. Generation narcissists. What do they call this one?
Well, I think it's the last couple generations, really.
Yeah, it's definitely. But it's definitely. Yeah, I know the difference. It's the social media.
What's the social media? It's American Idol. It's
me.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? If you wait in line for hours, you can be on television. You can be famous. You don't necessarily have to have any real talent.
Oh no. It's just look at me. Why? I don't know, but just do it anyways.
Just look at me. I mean, I'm also guilty of that. I do host a podcast.
Yeah, but it just depends. I do porn, but it's not. I think it's just a different mind frame on the.
Well, but the difference there is someone hired you to do porn.
Right. You're not.
No one hired me to do this podcast.
Oh well. Oh, because you think that you have something interesting to say to people. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just have a giant ego, and I just want to put it out there.
Oh, that's okay. Most guys do. Most guys have, and the ego's usually the biggest problem with guys, is their ego.
Oh, it's definitely part of my problem.
I always say it makes guys stupid.
No, that's generally our penises.
Oh, I thought those were the same thing.
No, thankfully my ego's not tied to my penis.
Although they do communicate on a regular basis, though.
Well, one just kind of steers, and the other one's like, well, that's also a good plan. I'm not going to say which one's which, but I mean, they kind of take turns steering the boat. It's like, yeah, she's definitely into me. Yeah. What? No, there's no basis in reality on that. Penis is like, but I want to be in there, man. So I agree with the ego. She's totally into you, bro. We're going to go for this.
How does that work out for you?
I do all right.
Yeah, like 50-50? 70-40? 70-30? Well, at least I could do math.
I mean, yeah, I put in 110%.
100, okay.
No, I mean, it works out all right. Dating, we discussed earlier, dating in this town sucks. And then when you're action packed with issues like my ass, I'm in this weird place where, I do work in the industry on top of this, but I'm not a performer. I've never wanted to be a performer, but I get the same sort of treatment from civilians that is if I was a performer at times.
Oh, okay, right, yeah,
Like, oh, you do work in porn? I'm out.
yeah.
But on the flip side, I've dated some performers who are like, I don't really want to date anyone who's not a performer because they are worried about the jealousy issues.
Oh, that's so funny because I only date people who are not in porn. I won't date anybody in porn.
But I feel you're the exception, not the rule there.
Oh, and I probably am, but that's the whole don't shit where you eat type of mentality.
I see it both ways. On one hand, yeah, don't shit where you eat. Don't have to add some dude to your no list because you two were involved at some point.
Well, that's the thing is that it's a drama factor because, like,
because it's high school already.
it's high. The industry is high school. I mean, it is the equivalent to high school. And there's a whole, and I don't want to and the way that I am able to do the job is look at it like a job, and I don't and I try to be professional and do the best I can. So I don't want to go to work and have hear somebody gossiping about my boyfriend or talking or something that's going to affect my ability to do my job. I don't want to get emotional or whatever because I heard something or this person just wants to be a total cunt about something. I don't want to I don't want it to interfere with my job. And so that's the only way I can do that is to completely separate it. So but I mean, then again, I was married when I started in the industry. I was married at the time. So I guess that maybe that helped out with that. He wasn't in the industry. He was completely out of the industry. And so maybe that's why I just always just figured since that worked. I mean, it worked when we were together, I mean, but because that worked, then I guess maybe I got lucky with the people I dated because none of them were jealous and they all understood that I did have a clear line between work and
well, and there are definitely a lot of jealous dudes out there. I totally get that there are a lot of performers that have probably been burned once, twice, 3 times by dudes who say they're cool with it and then not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been, like I said, I've been lucky. But I always was very good at making the guy I was dating feel like they were the only one I wanted, and they saw that, and I was very open about my job. So I would talk about it, tell my entire day, no big deal, and so because I think I was so open and because I was
and you're probably almost clinical about it,
it was just I'll be bitching about whatever, do this or that, happen whatever. But because I was so it was so easy for me to talk about. There was never if anyone felt I was hiding anything from them. It was never that problem, because I was just whatever. And it's a job. It is a job. At the end of the day, it's always a job.
Oh, 100%. That's why I'm able to date performers because I know it's just a job. And I know in a lot of cases, they don't want anything to do with their scene partners outside of getting paid.
Yeah, you just go to work and it's you meet them, you go, hey, what's up? And then when you leave, you go, see you later, bye.
All right, see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no big thing, but I was starting to date a performer a couple of years ago, and she didn't live in town, and I was hitting her up while she was in town, hey, are you working? And it wasn't me checking up to see if she's working. I just wanted to spend time with her, and then she dropped I think I only want to date performers. I'm like, girl, I'm not jealous. I'm literally just trying to spend time with you. Me asking if you're working was just to see, hey, are you free to hang out?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there's a certain, you kind of get, the girls get kind of they're just so used to a certain, type of treatment from people, or just how, or just so used to getting the same kind of reaction from people that they kind of, it's just automatically, they just default to that.
As we talked about earlier, experiences color everything.
Yes, for sure. I mean, I got to the point where it's just, I just had to assume that any guy who asked me to dinner didn't really want to have dinner with me. They just want to fuck me. And so dinner was just a way to do that. And you can always assume that it's going to be a one-time thing because they're not going to really want more from you. So I just got to the point where if anyone asked me to dinner, I'm just do you want to just come over? I'm honestly, I don't want to go to dinner with you and make myself think that it's going to be anything more than that because I already know that's how this goes. It's kind of disheartening a little bit when you start to realize that it's the same shit. Because every guy, it seems like every guy wants to fuck a porn star just to say that they fucked a porn star. But they don't really want anything else from you. They just want to be able to say that they did it.
Yeah, which is silly bragging rights in the first place. You're fucking someone that the world has seen fuck. That multiple other people have photographic and video proof that they have fucked. Is that something you really care to brag about?
I think
because if I didn't mean to cut you off, but say you fucked the girl that is at the bar who's fucked everyone else at the bar, would you be bragging about that?
I think it's the mentality though that like everyone thinks that porn stars are like really 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 like experienced, like they know what they're doing. They're like, and also too, guys have this assumption that if you fuck a porn star, then you must have a big cock, because porn stars only do like only fuck guys with huge cocks because that's So I think there's all these things that are tied to it, these stereotypes and assumptions that are tied to what it means to be. But it's true though. It's like if the theory is that we're all really easy and we're like you can just fuck us at any we'll just fuck anybody, like the pizza guy or whatever, anybody who shows up. Oh yeah, I'll fuck you. You're here. It's like I think there is, because there's a huge idea that that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, and Keanu Reeves murders a bunch of people on a daily basis because that's what he does on film.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
It's ridiculous. But I get it. But I get even on social media, there's all these guys who are just like, here's a picture of my cock. Do you want to go out? I'm like, no. I'm like, but thanks for the photo, I guess. Like, what does that mean? Is that your resume? I don't understand what that even means.
Well, my thought process on this, I have no way to verify if this is what's really happening in the mind of someone who sends a dick pic. In their mind, they would be ecstatic if someone that they were attracted to just sent them an unsolicited nude. So, what would make me happy? An awesome unsolicited nude. If I send this girl an awesome unsolicited nude, maybe she'll like me. I would like someone who'd send me one. I mean, this is just my theory.
It's actually a pretty decent theory. It's pretty funny, though. But it just goes to show you how simple guys are and their thinking, which they all very much are. Simple. No, but simple.
I'm not arguing I'm simple.
Not in the stupidity factor, although I could just argue that as well. But I don't mean like that, but just in the just very simple. Like everything's just very what it is. It's like you don't think too much into it, because if you do, you're going to go way past the point of what guys usually think, how they usually think. It's just the basis of what it is probably what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
they're doing what they want, like what they would want to get themselves.
Yeah, exactly. There's no forethought on, hey, this is an individual person that has different wants and needs than me.
Yeah, that's a total chick thing to do.
Yeah.
Over-process everything.
But, I mean, that's just my theory. I'd like to see if there's something way that I could prove it, but...
Actually, that would actually be... Or maybe I'm going to have to, tweet something like that. I'm going to have to, tweet out, just a question and say, for all of you who sent out dick pics... What reasons do you have for doing it? I don't even know how I would word it to make it not sound like I was being a total dick about it, but I'm just kind of, it's to make it sound like just a question.
Like, what motivates you to send a dick pic?
Yeah. What is your main motivation? Just curious.
Yeah, well, obviously to get laid. What's your rationale for sending an unsolicited dick pic?
Because I am super curious about that. What the majority of people would say.
Be curious to see if you actually got honest answers out of these dudes, too.
But it's funny when you get the question, is it okay if I send you a picture of me? Sure. And then you get a picture of the penis. And I'm like, this is a picture of you? I'm like, well, it's changed.
For a short while, we had, when I first launched the show, we had a segment where, because my original co-host is a performer, we had a segment where we would rate everything but the dick in a dick pic that she'd get. Like, we talked about the background, what they were wearing, what they weren't wearing, where they took it, what their lighting, the angle.
That's hilarious.
Unfortunately, she wasn't getting enough dick pics for us to keep it going.
What? Wow, you think that would be flooded with them? But then again, I guess people don't really want to be critiqued so much, even if it isn't on their dick. And they think
people definitely want to be critiqued on their dick.
Do they? Oh, well, actually, yeah. When I was with Kimmy, I would have guys come on. Can you please tell me what you think of my cock? So sure. So they take me to private, and we go, and I take a look, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's a nice cock." And they would, "Thank you," and that was it. I'm like, okay.
Thanks for the money, sucker. You're paying. Obviously, I'm going to tell you it's a nice dick.
Yeah, I don't understand. But it's great. Would you think I'm going to be like, oh, God, that's disgusting?
Unless they're into that, and there's definitely dudes that are into that, too.
Oh, yeah. I've had the guys with the really small penises that come in, can you please make fun of it? I have a hard time doing that. I have to be honest. I have a hard time with the small penis simulation because I feel bad. I feel bad because I don't want to make fun of you. I don't have anything against you, but you want me to. So it's I know you want me to, but I can't. It makes me feel like a horrible person if we're doing it, even though you want me to.
Making fun of someone's handicap.
Yeah, it's like, oh, laughing at it. I can't really laugh at a small penis because I feel bad. It's like, is this, but they want it. It gets them, and that's their thing. And it's like, I feel bad for feeling bad about it. I had somebody who actually asked me to take a photo of his cock and take a picture of me, putting, my fingers up to the big house, almost saying it's so small. And then taking that photo and then posting on Twitter and making fun of him, and then linking, and then connecting him to it, and then whatever. And I felt so awful. He asked me to do it, and I said I would do it because he wanted me to, but I felt like such an asshole. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm such an asshole. So no, I look like the biggest asshole. So I said, per the request of, because I said he requested, because I didn't want it. I couldn't be just an asshole. Say like, oh, look at this small cock, because I don't want to be that person. I don't know, but yeah, I had to do that. I felt like that was a really difficult thing for me.
I get it. I
can't be unjustifiably mean. I guess it is justified to a certain degree, but
Well, just think of it as an acting role.
It is, I know, but the thing is that nobody knows necessarily that I am acting, and so I just look like an asshole who's making fun of somebody for having a small cock.
Yeah.
Because it is a social media and it's seen by however many followers.
And whoever retweets it, and
yeah,
and it's there forever.
Yeah. So I just kind of felt bad, but I think I worded it okay to make it look like I wasn't as much of an asshole.
Solid. I mean, the dick pic phenomenon.
I don't know. It's a mystery.
It is.
But I'm gonna set out to decipher this mystery. I'm gonna figure it out because honestly, I'm super curious. There's got to be, because I've always thought about it, but I never actually thought to ask. I think it's time to ask.
Yeah. Hopefully you get some good answers. I'd be curious to follow back up with you and see what you get.
Yeah. Okay.
See, for me, I would, even if I was with someone, I wouldn't send them a dick pic, which is really weird because like I have no beef about being nude. I just there's just something in my brain like I don't want my genitals on the internet forever.
Yeah, well, that's goes along with the whole idea of you not wanting to do porn too.
Yeah.
Some guys like it. Some guys like just like but they won't show their face. Like there's the guys who don't mind being like seen naked or even doing like blowjob
POV and
POV whatever. But they don't want their face to be like just as long as you don't see their face. So it's like, what is the satisfaction there? It's just like, oh my penis is like.
Well, I think it's monetarily
But even for people who don't make money off it, some people who just like to know that it's there.
I think that maybe goes back to I get to fuck porn stars.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, and my whole thing, my audience has heard this a bunch of times. My biggest objection to ever wanting to be a performer was the fact that I like choosing who I have sex with. I make bad choices all the time, but I like making those choices.
Because they're your choices.
Yeah. Like they're not the director, someone's agent making that choice. Especially as newbie male talent. I know how it goes. Like you have to fuck whoever they put in front of you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when you're just trying to get like the experience in, yeah, for sure.
Well, and just being a male in the industry, like you get a lot less choice over who you work with.
Yeah, and it's definitely like I think that most people think it's like you get like these like hot chicks that you're always. It's not like that at all.
My favorite is Mr. Pete told his story about his first scene, and he slept with someone who asked him if she should leave her teeth in or not.
Wow. Yeah.
That old.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. I think that a lot of guys end up having to do the guilt stuff. And that's, what it is. But, I mean, you also get some, okay, so, like, luckily I haven't had any of these horror stories myself, but, like, my friend Danielle, who's, she used to be a performer a long time ago, she has some pretty gnarly, like, stories, and mostly with the stories that she had with girls, and how, like, girls there's one girl who didn't take her tampon out for a week. She forgot it was there. And Danielle had to do a scene with her. And
how'd she not die?
I have no idea. And she had to do a scene with her, and the girl she took her underwear off, and she said it stunk so bad. And she's like, I am not going. And she's like, what the hell is going on with you? And see, she was really forward, so she would just flat out tell her like, dude, you got something going on. What the hell? And she realized she had a tampon that was in there for that long. And it was just like stuff like that. Like that guys have to deal with that stuff too. It's like they have to deal with some girls who are just not. Have like really bad hygiene and all kinds of shit. I mean, just as much as girls with guys, but I think it could be pretty gross with some of the girls because some of the girls are really young and they just don't know what they're doing and they don't really I don't know. They don't have they didn't have any direction, I guess, when they started, and so.
One, there's that. There's also the fact that porn sex is aesthetically pleasing, not necessarily pleasurable.
Oh yeah, the positions that you get in, they're not regular positions. So yeah, so for all of you guys who watch porn and think that those are the positions that you're supposed to be who aren't maybe as sexually advanced, Those are not the positions that people normally have sex in. Those are ones that are good for camera.
Right. I'd be so weirded out if like someone was doing reverse cowgirl on me and then was like started opening up. I'm like, why are you opening up?
Yeah, or doing squats, like just like doing squats on the bed. Like, it doesn't really work that way.
No.
It is a lot more comfortable ways to do it, and that's
Right.
not one of them.
Right. Like, you don't have to do like the big like up and down, like over exaggerate up and down.
Yeah, it's very, very different. And also like the locations is like, granite countertops they can get real slippery. There was once I did one scene and I was starting to get so hot and I was starting to sweat and I literally started sliding off the granite countertop to the point where I had to like dig my feet into the drawers, the handles of the drawers to hold myself in place because I was sliding. And I literally was like holding on to the point where when we finally stopped, I had to do my hands from like the floor because it was like they were like holding on so tight to the countertop because I was trying not to slide off of it because it was so hard. It was like I was trying to get through the scene. I'm like, I know I can get through this. And I'm like, without just like, because it was so hard to, because I was just like wanting to just fly right off of it. Like this is definitely some situation. Like Haystack. I did a scene of this one Wicked movie. It was like 1 a.m. by the time I got there. I think 10. And my sex scene wasn't until like 1 a.m. It ended up being, and it was outside, and it was a 3-way on a haystack. And,
gross.
Yeah, it was a comedy. The thing was a comedy, so it was like ridiculous too. So it was just so funny.
Was that something Stormy wrote back in the day?
No, this was oh my god, David Stanley. He once upon a time he was a director for Wicked. He was very creative. He did some he went for the art of it. He like was really focused on the art of making something that was like,
something you'd stick around to after you popped your load.
Yeah. Yeah, the story, like he had the full thing. He wanted the sex scene to be great and he wanted the story to be great.
It's like a Burt Reynolds character from Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
I want people to stay in the theater after they pop.
Yeah. He wanted it to be like, award winning, like this, like something that, you can actually like a real movie, but with dirty sex in it.
I think Wicked's like the only people making real movies anymore.
I don't know. Who else would be? Oh,
Adam and Eve was at one point, but I don't know if they still are.
Oh my god, I'm telling you, my brain's not working right now. I'm telling you, Vixen does too.
Oh, Vixen. Oh, okay, Linsky does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no clue how they're able to, because the industry is dying. But then there's no money. There's just no money anymore. With it's so hard to, especially I heard that girls aren't even showing up to work a lot because they can make more money just doing their own shit.
Yeah, I would tell anyone who wants to get in the industry these days, like, you better be ready to be your own production house.
Yeah, and nowadays what the requirements actually probably even more, because before you can have like your agent or whatever just like kicking your ass and telling you to get the set and this and that, but now it's all self-motivation. And you have to be self-motivated. You have to be able to just like hustle and
hustle, edit, produce,
everything. So you have to book the work yourself. You have to get the work yourself. You have to find the performers to work with.
That won't flake on you.
Yeah, that won't flake. Make sure that you have even equipment. You need equipment, your own. I mean, not really equipment. People can do it on their phones, and people are doing it on their phones or whatever. But you still have to generally have something that you can, like the basic knowledge for.
You at least need like essentially the setup I have here.
Yeah, just like good light.
Yeah, some good lights. I mean, I've definitely been on Pro-Am sets where like they're using essentially these cameras.
Yeah, and I mean, I personally wouldn't even like want somebody to say, "Oh, well, I have all the equipment, I can just do it myself." I'll give it to you. I would want to do it myself just because at least I had it and I didn't have to depend on someone to give it to me. Because who knows if anyone's really going to be like falling through on that, or if they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll get it to you next week."
Hollywood promises.
Yeah, so it's like if you want to like but I mean, I don't know. We'll see what goes. I really do. It's crazy. It seems like it's going to eventually. I mean, I don't know if it can disappear completely. If people eventually will get more into something that's more produced than just the home video type thing, because that's really what seems like it's all about right now.
Well, I think people want the home video stuff right now just because it's a level of intimacy that overproduced stuff doesn't have.
Well, it's the realistic, like being able to feel like you're like it's like real.
Yeah, instead of having them jerking off to whatever character you're playing while you have sex, they're actually jerking off to you.
Right. It does kill the fantasy though idea, which is crazy because it really does the whole porn star idea. The whole porn star is dead. The porn stars don't really exist anymore. I mean, the fantasy girl that's like whatever idea you have of this person, it's like I remember when I first got in, I remember going to my first like AVN, and it was like I remember seeing like the Wicked setup which was like when they had this huge booth and all the Wicked girls were up on like these like stages kind of.
Yeah, back at the Sands.
Yeah. I mean, it was so cool. And like seeing them, they're just all look like larger than life. And they're just like, these like, it was just like, I remember waiting in line to like get Stormy to sign something for me. Like, this is like, I didn't even know who she was at the time because I was brand new and I didn't really know anything. But I just knew that she was like someone who was like famous. And that whole experience of doing that, it was just so cool. Like to be like see that and see how these girls just seemed like they were just like, that's what you want to be. Like you want to get to that point. And now it's like, that doesn't exist anymore. I mean, shit, I remember how even the evolution of the AVNs of seeing what Wicked went from when, like back then all the way to the next, the girls are standing at podiums in the hallway of the convention center. And you don't even hit like the line, there's a line there, but you can't even see like the girls from the line. I mean, it's just like, it was a clusterfuck. And it's just like, what happened? There is no big booth anymore. It's just the girls in a hallway.
Oh, I remember when it was at the Sands, and like, I loved it when it was at the Sands because one, it was really more of a business-to-business convention, and fans were kind of an afterthought, and just the giant booths and the spectacle of it.
Oh yeah, the lights and everything. It was so cool. I mean, it was like there's just like so much money put towards like just like making it look like it was just like this big, huge event type of thing, and then just got smaller and smaller, and then just more downplayed, and then all of a sudden there's like all these like retailers now that are kind of like mixed in with everything else, and it's just not that. It was just slowly started kind of disappearing, and the girls just kind of faded into the background. And then next thing you know, it's like not really any contract girls anymore.
No, there's no contract girls. I mean, why would anyone want to be a contract girl at this point?
It wouldn't make any sense too. Yeah, you'd be tied into something when you would be very limited.
Yeah, like Allie Hayes was like the last Vivid contract girl. She did it pretty much for the prestige because I know she lost a bunch of money.
Mm. Yeah, like Wicked. Like I saw the potential like with being like Wicked. I was being groomed to be a Wicked girl at one point, which had a huge crash and burn ending. Long story. But
Is it a story you can tell?
I could, but I don't know if I should because I don't know if it'd be. It is.
I mean, it's fine if you don't want to tell it, but
I probably
it's not.
Just because I don't know if it'd be bad for other people involved. That they.
I mean, you don't have to name names, but probably people with Wicked people could figure it out. So yeah,
it might make some people mad if they ever knew that I talked about this.
Okay, because I'm always curious about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, basically, my ex-husband ruined my career. Let's just put it that way.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's funny because he kind of like helped me make it, and then he just flat out destroyed it.
A little better. Yeah.
I was losing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of just destroyed it. And it's funny because it was a while before I actually realized that how much damage he did. And he was the one who was mad at me when I left him, which is funny.
Why did he destroy it? Do you know?
Yeah. Oh no. Well, I left him, and that was what he was very angry, and that's why he hated me, and he actually he turned into like he tried to make my life a living hell because I left him. But I left him because he had substance abuse problems. It was like he was an alcoholic, and he lied. In general, like he just lied. There's always and it was kind of strike 4 when I finally left. It was on New Year's, and I just finally got to the point where, like, I can't do this anymore. It was just too much, because it was like constantly like, okay, I'll go to therapy, I'll do this, I'll figure it out, I'll go, get it. And it would like be all gung ho for about a week, and then it would go back to the same thing. And it wasn't trying to do anything to like make things better and this and that. And I just finally got to the point I'm like, I can't keep doing this. But because he had this issue, that's one of the reasons why I end up leaving. And because there's a person who told me that by accident, he like told me that he did something that he lied to me about. And so then when I confronted him about it, he decided to confront the person who told me, even though the person who told me had nothing. He had no idea that he shouldn't tell me this because it wasn't like, anything that he had anything to do with. And so, anyways, when I confronted him and he got pissed off, he went to the other guy, and that's what happened with the whole, because he went and just went off on this person, then it was like done. And it was so unnecessary and it had nothing to do with him. It had to do with me, but he needed someone to blame because he couldn't deal with it himself. And so he just put the blame on somebody else, and that just fucked everything.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and I ended up getting cancer so like around that time too, and so I had to stop working, and so that my whole career kind of slowed down at that point for a little while. Actually, from that point actually is when it started changing and the work started reducing and everything. So by the time I finally got back, it was just slow, and I never really was able to get that momentum back again.
That sucks.
Yeah, but I have to say though that the years that I was going strong in the industry were like probably the best years of my life, for sure. Best job ever. It really is. I mean, I'm so glad. I was an executive assistant before that. I worked in corporate like bullshit.
You lived your father's dreams. You learned how to type.
I did. I did learn how to type, and I was actually fairly fast at one point. I was assistant. I was executive assistant. I fucking hated it, man. I could not be. I'm not meant to be in an office. I cannot do that. I have to move around. I can't just be stuck in. Oh, it's awful. It was so awful. Yeah, that was the thing. Is like it was probably the greatest thing ever was me just doing that. I always say I owe it all to hypnotherapy.
That's what did it?
Well, I went to hypnotherapy more because I was depressed, and it was like one of those things where I'll just try it because I've tried all the other things and they didn't really work. So I went in for that. But my intention of going was to use it to lose weight because I wanted to stop eating so much because I was really obsessed with my weight. And I wasn't like fat, but I was obsessed. I was like, just, so I wanted her to help me eat less. But what I found with hypnotherapy is that your brain will work on whatever it is that is most important at the time. Like whatever is like, and at the time I was really depressed because I hated my job. I was miserable. And there's no other time, like any other time, there's no way I would have the guts to just quit my job and just do something crazy like, porn, I guess you could say. And so it was one of those things I just literally like just did that. I just I quit my job for a little while, but I started stripping first. But I decided to go back to school and I just quit my job and I always had to have a backup and I didn't. And I just decided to go full blown into it and it was the greatest decision I've ever made.
That's awesome. Because sometimes you just can't just stick a toe into something. You got to go all in.
Yeah, and I had like a direct like goal. There was a direction I was going in. I wanted to, go back to school. I wanted to be a therapist. I wanted to be a sex therapist.
Did you get your degree?
No.
You going to?
No.
Why not?
Because it's too late.
You're not dead.
I know, but to be a therapist, it's like, I didn't even get to grad school. So I'd have to do grad school. I'd have to do my hours, all that kind of crap. It's just a long journey, and I don't know.
Yeah, better get started now. You're just wasting time if you're not doing it now.
That was what I was going for. I was, I thought it'd be cool, but it's just like, now it's just like, oh, it seems so far away. I don't know.
It is until it's not.
Yeah. I don't know. That's something I'm thinking about. It's in the back of my mind, but ultimately what I was planning on doing. I had a really direct, goal to do that, but then things happen,
Yeah, life just has this habit of,
getting in the way of everything.
Giving you a couple surprises like, oh, well, I didn't see that shit coming.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. It's crazy how that works out. Like, it doesn't matter how absolute you are and what you want. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter because it's always something that come and just redirect you.
It's crazy. I mean, I definitely, as a kid, never thought that my life would be in this direction any way, shape, or form.
Me too. Even if anyone asked if they thought that I would ever be doing porn, everyone would say no way, no way, and I probably would say no way.
They're like, she's definitely gonna be a cop.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm probably the last person I want to think would end up doing it, but it's the best decision I ever made in my life. I'll never ever regret it ever in a million years. And it did change my life, and not always for good. It definitely does it's difficult. It's a difficult career.
Oh, it is. It 100% is. And I have female friends every once in a while, they're like, I'm thinking about getting into porn. And I do everything in my power to dissuade them from doing it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, there's a lot of things that aren't taken into consideration when people start doing it. And there's a lot of things that are very important that need to be taken into consideration.
The first thing I tell them is, you do realize your previous employment is not a protected class. Your future employers can 100% fire you for doing porn.
Yep.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it's going to affect you from getting jobs later. It'll affect you. You can lose your family over it. You can lose all your friends. I mean, I lost friends from it.
I definitely think most people consider the family aspect when they get in.
That's a huge one because that's why, my stepdad found out first. I didn't tell anyone. But the thing, though, is that I didn't tell them because I figured that they'll find out soon enough, and I wasn't going to, I didn't want to, I figured I wanted to establish myself a little more before they found out so that they saw it was something that was, a career and it wasn't,
Do 2 scenes and get out.
Yeah, but it's funny, though, because my stepdad called me, and he's like, I need to talk to you. I'm like, what? He's like, so my friend, he just texted me, and he told me that he saw you, which, questionable whether or not it was his friend or if it was him. But yeah, he's like, and he thought, are they forcing you to do something? Is it illegal? Are you doing drugs? And I'm like, no. I'm like, it's a business. I'm like, it's a job, but I explained all the time. He's like, okay, well, you're going to have to tell your mom because I'm not going to. And I'm like, okay.
He didn't want to tell your mom because he'd have to explain where he found out about it.
Probably.
Yeah. No one wants to have that discussion. Like, so your daughter's doing porn. Well, she didn't tell you. How'd you find out? Well,
Yeah. I don't know if the story he told me would go over very much with my mom, and she'd probably be like, yeah, right.
yeah, especially because which one of his friends actually had ever met you?
Oh, well, there were a couple.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, he said a friend told him.
Yeah.
Which one of his friends actually had ever met you?
His friends?
Yeah.
Oh, I met him. I met with the one that said that he was mentioned before.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's at least plausible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of how many times I met him to see if he would actually recognize me from that. Maybe.
Yeah, recognize you in full hair and makeup?
Probably not.
Right?
Yeah, because it had been years since I saw any of them. And yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, it was funny though, the way it's like, he definitely had questions and he had all these ideas of what it was, and it was they're all so wrong. But they, I mean, I got lucky with my parents because I knew what my mom would have a problem with. I knew that she wasn't going to have a problem with me doing it so much as she'd have a problem with what her friends would think of her as a mother to have a daughter who would do something like that. Like, what did you do wrong to have a daughter who would get into that kind of situation? Because, everyone thinks it's, something that... Everyone has an idea.
That it's always a parental issue.
Yeah, like, you must have been wrong with your parenting. And so I knew that she would have more of an issue with what everyone's going to think of her. And she did. It's funny, because when I first told her, her reaction, I think she thought I was going to say I was pregnant, and so she was going to freak out over that. But she was like, happy it wasn't that. And she actually reacted very well, but I think she was in shock, too. Because it wasn't until the next day that I got the phone call, and she's like, yeah, I'm not feeling as great as I was yesterday about it. And I'm like, you're worried about what your friends are going to think? She's like, yeah. I knew right away that was going to be the main issue. And I'm like, think about it this way. No one's going to say anything to you because then they'd be admitting to watching it. And you know that your friends are not going to be, like, open about watching porn. Because, this, like, different generation, they're going to be a little bit more, like, embarrassed by something like that. And so I'm like, so if anybody knows, they're watching porn, and I'm sure that's fine with it. I'm like...
But on the flip side, she might just feel weird about the fact that, like, if one of her friends just is asking out of concern, so, like, how's your daughter doing? What's she up to these days?
Oh, yeah, she actually had that covered real well.
Oh, did she?
Oh, yeah, because she took everything else I was doing, and but it turned out to be her, like, bragging about me doing, like, also, she's doing so great, and she'd be talking about all these things I'm doing, like, with the jewelry making, all this stuff, and I'm just like, oh, stop, don't, you're painting me into this, like, person who's, like, amazing, and I'm so not that person, like...
Yeah, well, all of a sudden her friends are trying to order your stuff. You're like, shit?
I'm like, I'm not really doing as well as she's making out sound, but yeah, she went on this whole bragging thing. And I'm just like, just stop thinking it's such a big deal. Because I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, I can't live up to what you're saying here.
See, for me, I gave zero thought to what my family would think. It was literally like, porn was kind of my compromise on mainstream film ambition. Like, I wanted to make movies. I obviously love movies. I grew up in Chicago. I didn't know a single fucking person that made movies. I ended up meeting a bunch of people who made porn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is an opportunity for me to make movies.
It's funny though that you say that, because I started acting when I was 12 years old or something like that. I started acting, and I wanted to be an actress. That's what I wanted to do. That was my dream. Like, that was what I wanted. And I did it all myself. My mom was not the stage mom. She's like, don't do it. She's like, just don't get into that. But I wanted to do it, and so I took acting classes, and I used to, like, once upon a time, before you can actually do everything electronically, you had to actually send out your picture and resume to every single agency in the town.
Send out the headshots.
Yeah. And so
I actually have a printed stack of headshots.
I had a whole I had a stack of all these envelopes, and I did all that stuff myself because that's what I wanted. I was like determined to do that at one point. And so, but I guess, like, you could say this is my compromise. It's not quite the same, but
Yeah, it's not quite the same, but it's still, you're out there acting, you're fucking performing. You're in front of the lights.
Yeah.
I don't make shit in the way of film, so I mean, this is the closest I get to it. I do a 3-camera shoot and talk to people.
Well, that's something.
It is, but it also was a long, arduous journey to get here.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing various odd jobs in the industry for the better part of 10 years at this point. This show's only existed for a little over 3 of them.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works on anything, though, right? You have to, it's like working your way up to a certain extent. Like, you have to kind of, like, do all the bullshit to get to where you want to be, wherever that is, even if it's not exactly where you want. It's at least hinting towards it.
Well, I also definitely didn't jump in both feet. Like, I had a 9 to 5. Like, I worked for the same 9 to 5 for 12 years. Like, I was up until the end of 2014. I was still working for them and doing porn gigs around it. Hell, I was actually middle management for the fucking company by the end.
Oh, wow.
And like regional VPs knew about the porn work and stuff like that, because I would, a lot of times I was roadieing for girls at conventions or on feature gigs, stuff like that, because I come from a security background. And it's like, hey, I got to go out of town this weekend. I'm got a gig, and they just laugh about it.
No, they were cool. They didn't care.
I was working for an armored car company, like bank trucks. Mm-hmm. It's a very male-dominated
for sure.
field, and it's like, oh, you get to hang out with porn stars? Oh, that's awesome. Can I come with? No, you cannot. No, I'm not introducing you to anyone. Oh, okay, but yeah, I'm going to AVN later.
So you're the cool guy on campus, pretty much, at that place.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
yeah, it's whatever people have in their head of what they think everything is. It's interesting to find out all these people's assumptions of what everything about the industry is. It's so interesting because it's so where do you get this stuff from?
Oh, it's great. I brought 2 of my civilian friends to Exotica Chicago in 2013. And I was working for Tegan Presley at the time. Like, I just brought them around because they lived in, outside Chicago. And, I hadn't seen them in a while. I wasn't living in Illinois anymore. It's like, yeah, come out. I'll introduce you around. They're like, dude, it's like you pulled back the curtain on The Wizard. Especially because, one of my buddies is a doctor of psychology. So he's just like, oh, my God. You have ruined porn for me.
Oh, yeah. No, it's true. That's why, people, I always tell people, if you ever go onto a porn set, you trust me. I'm like, it'll all be just, it'll kill it. Once everyone I ever dated was just, they're selling now. They're just it's no big deal.
Exactly. And that's why, I have zero problems dating performers, because it's no fucking big deal.
It's definitely better to be the watcher. And, because the second that you get the realistic view of what porn is, it's going to just ruin everything. I can't watch porn. I mean, not regular porn. I said I can watch gay porn. I can't watch regular porn because I can tell what the girl's thinking. I can see it on her fucking face. I can see if she's faking it. I mean, it's so, to me now, it's and then everything follows the formula, the whole position. And so I'm sitting here just going through the formula in my head and just can see everything. I'm so jaded now that it's I can't watch it and think it's I'll just be, they bother me because I'll be like, oh my God, she's not having fun there. You can tell she's not. And most people just be looking at it going no, but they wouldn't even know, but I can see everything now. It's it's so obvious. Everything's so contrived and just formulated. And,
it's all been done before.
Yeah. And so,
so what is it about gay porn that you're into?
I don't know, but it's hot.
Are you into just really pretty muscular men?
Oh, well, that could be part of it. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's different. It's not what I'm used to seeing. Although then again, it's funny because I agreed to do some extra work on for it was a gay porn set. And I was like, this should be interesting because I've never been on a gay porn set before. And when we watched it, and I went, and it was literally the same thing. The only difference was it was so I saw. I'm like, this is really the same thing. I'm like, it's the same thing as every other fucking. It's not anything special. I'm like, okay.
Well, they're just doing what works. So we know this works.
It's just a job, It just becomes, and I was just like, yeah, that kind of sucks. I thought it'd be super hot to see, but it was just really was exactly what it's like on any other porn set. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, if someone booked me to work a game porn set, I would do it. Whatever, it's just work.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Oh, hey, you want to PA this gay porn? Sure.
Who cares?
You're gonna pay me? Cool.
There is something hot about guys and guys. I don't know why.
So yeah, I'm obviously not into guys on guys. I'm also really not into lesbian porn. So
a lot of guys aren't. It's weird. It's I feel like that's almost a fetish to be into girl stuff, because there are a lot of guys who are because most guys when they watch porn they like to picture themselves in it. They have that fantasy, they put themselves into the scene with a girl.
Definitely,
you can't do that with 2 girls.
I don't really watch IR scenes because I don't have a big black penis.
Yeah, yeah. They usually like to watch things that they can feel like they're they're into. That's the whole a fantasy of it is they imagine them being the one fucking the girl. So if the 2 girls, you can't really do that. So that makes sense on why a lot of people aren't, a lot of guys aren't. But But then there's the guys who just have this fantasy of just like 2 girls. Maybe they like in their head they jump into it or something.
Like, I get to be the meat in the sandwich.
Yeah.
No, you don't. If this were 2 real life lesbians, they want nothing to do with your hairy ass.
Yes, they would think your penis was gross.
Yeah. They might use you to like fertilize one of them and never see you again.
Yeah, pretty much for the most
Like,
part.
we want your juice. We don't want you. Like,
Yeah, the penises don't really work out in the whole lesbian mix of it.
no, they don't.
Yeah, but then again, most girls who do girl aren't even lesbians.
Oh no, for sure. The majority of like purely girl performers I find are just married.
Yeah,
They're married and they got a husband who's generally not comfortable with them performing with a dude.
yeah, it's weird. That's why they end up doing just lesbian stuff. But and you can definitely tell the difference between like me working with. I don't like to work with girls who aren't a little bit bi, because they don't know how to be with girls and they don't understand that it's the same thing as being with a guy. I think the way that you like, I mean, as far as like kissing and stuff like that, you don't kiss different with a girl. It's just kissing. It's like, but they feel like some girls, like if they don't know what they're doing, it's like they feel like they need to be doing something different, or they need
They're
to be
like, ew, yucky.
like they're just like, they do it really light, and you're like, what are you doing? You don't kiss it, you know, like it's like just. And
Well, because they don't have the passion there. They don't have there's no like biological sex drive behind it. They're just purely acting.
Yeah, and so it makes it a lot harder, and I don't think that the scenes come out as good. I used to do this one website called Milk Next Door, and so it was like 3 girls all the time. So it was me, and it was either Samantha Bryan or Lisa Daniels that would switch off, and another girl would come in, a new girl every time. And there's some days where it's just like, it was the longest shoot because the girl did not know what the hell she was doing, and it was like she was trying to do something, but it was just awful. And so it was like those were like the longest days. It's like, girl, it's not difficult. Like, just, I don't know. It's some of the girls just had no business doing girl. They had no interest in girls. They should not have been there.
No. There's a bunch of people that probably shouldn't be in porn. They're in it for the wrong reasons. They think it's the 90s for some reason and that they're going to get rich.
Oh, yes. Once upon a time, there was a time where you could make money, like a lot of money doing it. Now you can make a lot of money, but not doing it any way that used to be done.
Yeah, it's no longer show up to set for a $3,000 rate, get booked 6 days a week, and go home filthy fucking rich.
Yeah, basically your job is to make sure your nails are done, your hair's done, and you look good, and
you're there on time.
And you show up and you do your job, and that's But like, yeah, nowadays it's just turn on your webcam,
turn on your phone, interact with your fans, edit something.
Yep, post. Make sure that you're taking a picture everywhere you go. That's my problem, is I suck at social media because I'm not a narcissist. It takes like a bunch of photos to find that one photo that I actually want to post. I can't just post anything like people can, and I can't turn on all the time because I don't even think to take a photo of myself places, and I feel stupid doing it, like just like, hi, like I just like
at Starbucks.
Yeah, I know. Like it's like, and then I wonder, like, okay, is this really interesting though? I don't want to post anything. It's like I'm not gonna be, oh, look at, I'm eating spaghetti. Like, who cares? That's what my thinking is, like, who cares? But people care. And so I'm trying to, like, just change my mentality of, like, people care. But it's hard because I'm not a narcissist. I'm not obsessed with myself and what I do.
I'm right there with you. Like, as I said, like, most of my time in the industry has been behind the scenes stuff. I'm still adjusting to being the talent. The fact that, like, oh, I probably should go to industry events and walk red carpets and, like, actually promote myself.
Yeah, it's all self-promotion now. It's all self-promotion.
And I consciously know that, but I have so many years ingrained of like, oh, I'm at an event with someone I'm working for. I'm holding her purse while she walks the carpet. It's not my job to be seen here.
Yeah, it's very hard to switch over. And that mine is more just like, it just kind of happens, and then you usually have people promoting you for you. That was the thing, is like you had companies promoting you or this. And I like did the self-promotion thing. I can't, it's been such, I have like a block almost where it's like, it doesn't occur to me that I should be doing these things when I'm everywhere. I just don't think about it. And then I get home and I'm like, oh, I should have done this. And I know I'm supposed to do this, but I don't think about it because I'm just not, I don't know. It's weird. I can't break out of that whole, like, being, I'm just not a narcissist. That's all there is to it. I'm not, I don't think that people are going to be interested in me eating spaghetti.
Well, I'm really hoping that they're interested in hearing you talk for a couple hours. Kind of banking on that.
Well, fingers crossed,
Fingers crossed. Like, come on.
But yeah, and I'm trying to, like, I was even thinking, like, okay, maybe I could just, like, kind of, like, train myself to, like, just do it. And and not think. It's the tweeting and not thinking too. That's kind of tough, because I always overthink everything.
Well, see, what I do with tweets, I just schedule them. I come up with a bunch of them, and I just schedule them, and I'm like, okay, done with that.
I was doing that for a while, but I don't know if, I stopped doing that for some reason. I don't know why, but I was doing it for a while because it was actually easier for me to do that because I could just press schedule and then it would make me feel better because the tweeting at the moment I was thinking about it would cause me just to sit there and it would take me like an hour to tweet one thing. It's like, really? It's like, you can't do that because then it takes up your entire day.
Yeah, it's only probably at the time 140 characters. It's like
you could sit down and schedule like in a day. You spend one day and you could schedule like a week or 2 weeks ahead.
Exactly. I mean, I do that. It's just all the promotion for the show is like a series of scheduled tweets.
See, since I do photography and I take a lot of photos. Most of my photos I post are all professional photos because that's what I do. I like to and so, but people want to see you out and doing things. And so that's my problem now is that I need just to do more out doing things and not so much of the professional photos. But that's what I do. That's like when I'm like, it's easier for me to do those than to like think to actually do. But
so what you gotta do is hire a professional photographer to follow you around doing professional photography. So they'll have pictures of you taking pictures.
Yes.
There you go.
I need to just have someone do my social media so they can actually think for me, and so I don't have to think of doing this in the moment because I never do.
I got someone I can refer you to who's actually pretty good.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll talk about it off air.
Okay.
She was Burning Angel's social media person, so
it definitely could use the help.
Yeah, she does great work, but since Gamma bought BA, she doesn't have as much work as she used to.
Yeah,
because they have their own people.
I just don't know like what these like. Okay, for like as far as followers, I don't understand the science to like getting like the people who have a ton of followers, like 100,000 plus. Like I don't understand what the science to that. Like I don't understand how.
Well, some of them bought them.
But the bots come and they like wipe all that shit out, and so they
Yeah, but once your count's high enough, it does attract some legitimate eyes.
Oh well, yeah, because I guess it's constantly like they'll see you on other people's and blah blah, blah and it can I think that it goes faster once you get to a certain amount. But I've like hit a wall on both of them, and I heard too that like Instagram does like limited some people's like accounts because of their porn related or something like that. And so people were actually not able to get past a certain point because of like
the claim is that they're shadow banning people, that like you're not easily searchable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know they did that for like the name. Like I had to change mine from it was like Ryder Skye XXX. I changed it to the real Ryder Skye because anything with XXX in it was not searchable. Like that you couldn't find me because I had XXX in my name. I know that was like one thing. But like I mean it's even like with Twitter and stuff. It's like it's like I can't figure it out, and I try different things and see like if that does. I just haven't figured out the science to it. And but some people, it's like it seems like it's so easy.
Some people have it down. I haven't figured out the science either. I have a lot less followers than you do. I'm also not as pretty, so it doesn't help.
I do have a page that's filled with naked me. I'm naked in pretty much everyone in my house. Not really naked, but like mostly.
There's no nudity of me on the internet. There's a lot of shirtless photos though.
Oh well, there that I'm sure every time you post one of those, you get like a bunch more. Like.
I don't know. I've recently just started playing with this new social media app, Rumble.
I don't know.
It's kind of a Vine replacement. It's like shoot 1 minute videos.
Okay.
The developers actually found the show somehow and then hit me up on Reddit. And they're like, we love your personality. We love this episode. Like referenced things that actually happened in the episode. I'm like, oh, you actually did listen to the fucking episode. Cool. We'd love for you to be on Rumble. Like, please check it out. So I've been using it, and I've just been posting nonsense. A lot of times I've been posting nonsense while I'm on the shitter. Just shirtless on the can, my hair a mess. Like,
hilarious.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, just being silly. And I mean, they've promoted some of my stuff, and I've gotten
that's good
some views on it. I think they've stopped promoting me as much because my last couple of videos, or people are just sick of me sitting on the can. Who would have ever gotten tired of me ranting from the toilet?
I don't know. I don't understand that.
I don't know.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery that I'll never know. But, fair listeners, you'll never get this from the can. My bathroom sounds like shit.
It sounds like shit?
Just the acoustics.
Oh yeah, because it bounces, because it's such a small room. Yeah, I know. The bathrooms, you can always tell when someone's in the bathroom. Always tell. It's just that echoey like sound. Like even in like the small bathroom, you just hear that like.
Yeah, it's just like, because you also have all those hard reflective surfaces in there.
Yeah.
It's like hard sink, hard bathroom, like hard bathtub, tile walls, mirror, all bounces sound.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
But it's
The
good
fucking
though.
worst.
It's good that you're doing videos. I need to do more video, like this quick little. But that's like the thing is like, what am I doing that's so interesting? I don't know. Everything is, I guess. You have to think everything is. That's what it comes down to. You have to think everything that you're doing is interesting. If you think everything's interesting, then it'll be interesting to other people.
Yeah. I'm not enough of a narcissist to actually make it an entertainment. Almost every major celebrity's home I've ever been in definitely has a shrine to themselves somewhere in the house, usually in the bathroom. I've been in a couple people's houses, like gold records in the bathroom and shit like that. Why? I mean, I talked about this actually on the podcast I did a couple hours ago, too, because I had a writer and a music journalist on, and we were talking about, like, the gold records in the bathroom. Like, why? Why do you have this shrine to yourself in your bathroom? Like, I don't get it.
I have a whole wall mural of me in my apartment. Like, it's from ceiling to the floor.
Did you paint yourself, or?
Joking.
Oh. Never know. I haven't been in your apartment.
Actually, it's funny because I literally have, like, no photos of me anywhere. Yeah, I don't really have any photos, though. I have photos of my dogs, but they're definitely photo-worthy. Plus, I mean, I just figured like that there's enough of me on the internet. It's not like it's hard to find, so.
Well, I was in a famous comedian's house for a podcast, and, like, he had framed pictures of himself, like, on The Tonight Show in his bedroom and shit like that. It's like, dude, you were there.
I know. Memories, maybe.
Like, you were there. Do you really need this framed in your bedroom? Is this like when you take someone home, you're like, Tonight Show. Let's fuck.
Yeah, probably. Just in case you didn't know who I was.
Right? Just in case you're just drunk at the bar and you have no idea who I am.
Yeah, here's a reminder.
Tonight Show, Letterman. It's like,
it's like, yeah, you know, it happens. I don't know.
I'm kind of a big deal. Like, what? I just couldn't see myself doing it.
I know. It's generation narcissist, I'm telling you.
But this is someone who's older than us.
Well, no, there's narcissists have been existed for years and years.
Well, yeah,
and years.
I mean,
Go back.
narcissist is a Greek mythology. That's where it comes from.
It goes. Is it?
Yeah, Narcissus was a character in Greek mythology
Interesting. I did not know.
who I believe was murdered while staring at his own reflection in a water.
Totally understandable.
And that's where the term comes from.
That's hilarious. Oh, that's so funny. It's funny because there's always been narcissists. It's just that I feel like now we're breeding them. I think that's what social media does, is breeding people who are obsessed with like themselves. I mean, shit. I started a YouTube channel that I was going to do, which it was not the best idea in the world because my audience is mainly guys, and so it was just sex toy reviews. So it was really well produced. It looked great, but it was a topic that most guys aren't going to really be interested in. So I kind of wanted to shift that over to something else. But when I was doing the YouTube channel or the new show, I was trying to figure out what was popular, like what people were watching. And so I would go online and look at, like, you know, the people who had, like, you know, 1 million followers and that, or watchers, whatever, subscribers. And there's this one girl who had, like, she had over 1 million subscribers, and she had a ton of views on all of, I mean, like thousands of views on all of her videos. And she would literally sit in front of the camera, turn her phone on, and she would eat Chick-fil-A and talk about it for 30 minutes. That's what was popular. And I like would see these things, and I'm like, I don't get it, dude. I just don't get it. I'm like, I don't understand that, like, why this is more popular than this, or like why. Because I mean, honestly, like, I just don't understand. I mean, she's there going like, oh, it's really good. I like this one better than the other one, I think, because, well, you know, and it just, I mean, literally, it was nonsense. It was just nonsense. I was just talking about it. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't get it either. I wouldn't watch that on YouTube, but obviously someone will. I mean, we're also in an era where people are paying to watch other people play video games. Yes, this is true. And they're making so much money.
I know.
Oh my God. It's insane how much money some of these kids are making.
Or girls playing in their underwear.
That's so easy. It's so easy to do. That'd be like the easiest thing ever. Or just like even like
hey, and I'm not shitting on them for making it.
No, I say, like, honestly, more power to you, because that's actually, you've figured it out. The fact that these people figured it out and they're making money off of it gives them major props on that one. Because honestly, I don't understand, and it makes me feel dumb, because I'm like, like, is there like some secret that I like missed out on? Is there something that, like, I didn't get the memo? Like, what is it? I don't know what it is. I don't understand.
They figured out the fucking cheat code. They they're succeeding at it. And
It's crazy, and it's like the easiest job in the world once if they figure it out. I mean, like this girl's like, "Oh, I'm going to a wedding. Okay, I'm going to try on these dresses," and that's what you do. You see this girl try on like 3 dresses, and that was the whole video, and it's like 500,000 views. What? I don't understand. It's like I'll get naked in front of the camera, but you can't show that on YouTube.
hell, you can barely swear on YouTube anymore.
Yeah, I know. I had to have that. Well, that was one of the reasons too why I stopped doing the show was because it was a adult topic, which is sex toys. I had to have that age thing on there, like the disclaimer or whatever, or the saying that it was like for adults or something. And so you can't get paid on that, so it doesn't even matter how many people see it.
Oh, I know.
That's the biggest bullshit thing ever. And so when I realized, because we were doing these really, really well produced videos, and it was a lot of work, but they were super cool, and it was a great idea. But the fact that there's no way that we would ever start making money on it, it was like there's no point in doing it. Period. There's no point.
I know. Believe me, YouTube demonetized the audio versions of the show years ago because profanity, sex talk, all the adult subjects that happen on this show. They're like, no, we're not paying you for the audio.
That's just so it sucks. It just ended up being like it's like, okay, well, it's like now we're just doing it for nothing.
Well, I have advertisers, so.
Oh.
I have advertisers. I do make something on this, but the video versions are on Vimeo behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I would prefer to give them a free and have it ad based, but I don't want to run the same ads I'm running on the audio. And editing this fucking thing with video takes a lot longer, and I need to try to generate revenue from it faster.
Yeah. Editing is always a nightmare.
Well, especially on a 3 or 4 camera shoot.
Oh yes, that would be awful.
Yeah, I'm sitting here selecting cameras for the entire length of however long we're recording.
Yeah, and editing video is so boring.
I really have no problem with that aspect of it.
Oh god, it would be so boring. I hate editing.
See, I'm not really mad at the editing part, but the audio I can just breeze through because audio, like, I've been doing it long enough where it's just like, okay, I don't really edit for content. I'm just doing corrections and occasionally cleaning stuff up like likes and ums and long pauses.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like the biggest problem, is it, for most people. And
and I occasionally stutter a little bit. So I lightly clean that stuff up. I mean, I don't completely chop it up, but I lightly clean that stuff up. With the video, there's always the audio edit that has to happen on top of it. And then there's no way to speed up selecting cameras because I'm going to go to my camera while I talk. You start talking, it'll go to your camera. Mm-hmm. There's just no way to speed that up.
Yeah. Do you add like sound effects and stuff too?
Not really.
No, you don't do that. Do you know how to?
I could.
Yeah. Did you ever like take like any?
Nope. Taught myself all of this.
Really?
Yep.
Good for you. Definitely doable. Definitely doable on a lot of things. So I'm slowly learning that you don't really need like if you can self-teach it, because I learned how to do most of the shit I know how to do from like YouTube videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's been a couple of YouTube videos. The producer for one of the podcast networks in the area hit me up out of the blue on Instagram, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm putting together a podcasting course. Would you give me a shout out if I let you take the course for free?" I'm like, well, I've been doing my show for a couple of years, and I think it sounds pretty good, but I'm always down to learn more. I took his course, learned a couple extra things, which I think have improved the sound after a couple trial and error hiccups. Because, completely changed my workflow around. So it's like, oh, well, those couple things I didn't dial in quite right at first, but now that I've dialed them in, I think the show sounds better than it ever has. And I appreciate the hell out of him for doing it, for letting me do it. But it's been trial and error, and it's night and day how this show sounds from when we first started doing it. Because when I first started doing it, we had a professional editor on board. I have an ex-girlfriend who's actually a Grammy Award-winning audiobook editor.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, yeah, I'll edit your guys' show. I'm like, awesome.
That's cool.
3 episodes later, she quit. Oh, because I think it was one of those things where when I told her we were starting it, she's like, awesome, I'm in, and didn't actually expect that it would be a real thing.
Oh. So, yeah, it wasn't like she'll be just like a couple times and that would be it.
Yeah, like follow through on.
Yeah. Then it becomes a job.
Yeah, and then it's like, she's just like, I don't have time for this project. I'm like, cool. Well, I guess I have to teach myself how to edit this now.
Yeah.
And I did. And I've been doing it ever since.
I taught myself lighting for photography. Well, I watched some videos too. I watched the video too.
I'm still teaching myself lighting, as I could, if you look at the video from the revamped episode, there's a big shadow on her the whole time.
It's still bothering you.
Oh, because I try to make this as best as I humanly can, because I also feel that this is all, I do this for other people too. So it's like, when I put out bad product for myself.
Oh, it's a reflection of your work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, for sure.
Plus, I just have pride in what I fucking do.
Yeah, no, but you should though. I mean, it's like the whole thing is like, well, anybody can do anything, but you want to stand out as being good, like as good as you can.
Yeah.
You have to, Yeah,
not put out crap products.
Yeah.
Like, you never see something that's on fucking broadcast television with bad lighting.
Right.
Or the sound being off.
And then, because then that someone's going to, there's only that one person points out that they notice that's not made well or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, things do happen, like the Starbucks cup on Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Did you not hear about that?
No, I didn't watch the Game of Thrones or know anything about that.
So in the last season, like in one of the last scenes, I guess one of the actors had their Starbucks cup like in the shot with them accidentally. And the whole internet went crazy.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like,
they didn't have Starbucks in that world that they lived in?
In medieval times?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think they did.
I thought Starbucks I thought they were been around for a while.
Yeah, Jesus actually had a latte right before he died. HBO went back and digitally edited it out, so it's not there anymore.
But they did post it, but it did come out.
Yeah, like on premiere night.
I wonder how nobody noticed that, though. That's funny. It is hard to notice, like, those little tiny details that, there's a lot. It's a lot to, but I think that somebody would have.
You'd think, with the amount of people, like the graphic artists and the amount of people that went through, and somebody had to have watched it before it aired.
Yeah, I would think so. And, I don't know how many hands it passes before it goes to, like, the final. But I would think that it would have been some, but I guess not.
Or someone sent an email and someone didn't follow up on it. And
yeah, or it just really blended in.
But the internet saw that shit right away.
Oh, of course. Of course.
And I think one of the later episodes, one of the other actors had a water bottle in a scene, like a plastic water bottle. Like, there's a water bottle by his feet.
They had to ban, like, all, like...
like, you must be dehydrated to be on Game of Thrones. No beverages on set.
Yeah, leave them in your trailers.
But that is so few and far between for the countless hours of television and movies that are put out there. How often does that happen?
Yeah, that's true. Not very often.
And what's crazy is, like, the podcast and the YouTube world, you see shit like that all the time. Bad lighting, bad sound.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I mean, the majority of YouTube stuff these days is pretty...
YouTube. Because that's not a lot of... It's not effort put in. I mean, you're talking about something that's, like, very well produced to something that's just, like, done in someone's garage.
I agree. Well, I know. But that's where I'm trying to stand out with my stuff, is, like, not...
being the same as, like, that's just, like, yeah. And I think that's actually the angle that I was trying to go when I had the YouTube show. Is like, I wanted something that I wanted to be, like, put on YouTube but not look like it was. Like, make it look like it was well produced. So it'd be different. So it wasn't just like, someone standing in front of the camera and just talking. Did it work? I don't know. YouTube's it's a weird thing. It's another one of those things. I just don't get it.
Well, and it's very different than what it was, because everything has to be PG now to make any money at it.
Yeah.
Because really, YouTube is the television for smaller kids these days.
It is. Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like a high school, junior high, like it's that like generation. It's made more for that, like all of the YouTube stars and stuff. I have no idea who they are.
I have no clue. And I'll tell people about this show, like, and younger people are like, are you on YouTube? Like, well, actually I am. The audio is there. I mean, I don't make a cent from it except for my regular advertisers, but the audio is there.
Yeah.
I'd be foolish not to put it there. But all video-wise, all you get is the clips, because nudity happens on this show sometimes, and YouTube definitely ain't gonna let me get away with that. And I really don't want to spend the time to blur out someone's perfectly nice breasts when Vimeo is very happy to let me put nudity up.
Oh, Vimeo doesn't care? They don't care about any of that stuff?
Nope. As long as it's not actual pornography, they do not care.
Oh, okay.
I actually emailed them before I opened my pro account. Like, this is what I do. Nudity sometimes happens. Are you guys going to ban my account? Because before I drop, Vimeo's not free to host on. It is till you start putting up fucking a lot of content.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of my episodes in video rendered is almost 10 gigs.
Oh, wow.
So on a free account, that'd been nothing.
Yeah.
They're like, no, that's perfectly cool. We're okay with nudity as long as there's no actual like stimulation or pornography happening. I'm like, awesome. Pornography does not happen. Kit Mercer and Alexis Tay, sorry, almost ran afoul of that. Like I had to cut to my camera, just like, so this is happening.
Free porn.
Nope. Just me talking about it while I was having on other cameras. Like, guys, please stop. I'm gonna have to edit this out. This is great and all, but I can't show it. I could talk about it. Like, Kit's currently sucking on Alexis's tits. This is happening in my living room, but
that's what's so great when you like go on like the radios, like radio shows and stuff like that. How good some of these people are like describing exactly what's happening, like detail, and like giving. I'm like, damn, like I would not even think to have like even like describe something so well, you know, like it's crazy. Because radio's tough when it comes to things that are visual.
It is, because you have to just get into like, you know, just saying you're wearing a tie-dyed skirt isn't good enough. It's like, oh, it's a tube top, it's tie-dyed.
You have to know how to describe everything, like in detail, and so it's hard to like to teach yourself what that is, what that means.
It's the theater of the mind of it.
Yeah, and like what people are gonna want to see, so like what they can picture in their head. You know, it's like it's a skill for sure.
It's a skill that I'm not the best at. I'm not the worst at it. I try.
Yeah, well, really, all you need to do is know how to talk.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, it can be tough too, I guess, for some people.
One of these days I'll get that whole talking thing down.
That was one thing I never had a problem with, is talking. I used to get in trouble all the time when I was younger for talking too much, like in school. I always had to go stand in the corner.
They made you stand in the corner?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, because I wouldn't have a problem. In fact, I was in this like holiday production, where it's like, you know, like basically like singing like songs like, you know, on stage, whatever, and everyone had like, there's people with instruments, and it's like the singers, and the background people, like some people had instruments, some people didn't. I had that thing that you shake. I don't even know what it's called.
A maraca?
No, like they're like the round ones with the little
tambourine.
Yeah, I had to do that in the back. I was in the very back, right? But I was in the back, and I didn't think anyone could see me, even though everyone could see me. I was on stage, and I talked. I was with my friend's mom. Videotaped the whole thing. I'm in the back talking the entire show, nonstop to the person next to me. I did not stop talking through the entire show. I'm just sitting there going on, and she has the video of me doing that, and it's the funniest thing. I was so not even aware of what was going on.
Were you at least shaking the tambourine?
No, I was holding it though, and just talking. Because I don't have an attention span to sit there and just like be like, you know, I mean, like it was whatever. I was in the back, but literally the whole video is me talking in the background. Talking has never been a problem. I seem to find things to say, whether or not they're interesting or not. It's a whole other subject, but I can find something to say all the time.
Hey, that's in a lot of cases will just see you through. In a lot of cases, just confidently saying something, people will be like, "Oh, okay." Could be completely fucking wrong, but you just say it with enough confidence in your voice, and people. Oh.
It'll be convincing enough.
Yep.
And that's all you need, to be convincing enough.
I have one buddy. When I introduce other friends to him, I'm like, he's gonna say some shit, and he's gonna say it so confidently. You're gonna go along with it. Don't do it. It's gonna be wrong. It's gonna be fucking wrong. My favorite one that he got me. He got one over on me. We were in Spain. And we were staying out by the Mediterranean coast. And we had to make it back to Madrid for one of the other friends to fly out. And then me and one other person were going to bum around Madrid for the day. I'm like, I'm going to rent us a car. It's a 3-hour drive. My buddy's like, there's no way you guys are going to make it back for him to make the flight. Take the train. It'll be cheaper. You'll have plenty of time. So I canceled the reservation on the car. Fucking train was 80 euros a person. The car was 115 euros. And when I Googled, because we didn't have internet out where we were staying, and I just took his word on how long the drive was. I Googled it, like, oh, no, you would have made your flight with hours to spare if we'd rented a car.
Yep.
He just confidently convinced us.
It happens. There are some people who are very convincing in their bullshit. It's like professional bullshitters.
Well, that's the thing. He wasn't actually even bullshitting. He just honestly believed it.
Oh, he did know. He did think that was actually the case.
Yeah, he wasn't just trying to bullshit us to bullshit us. He just so confidently in.
But you didn't think like maybe I should check the prices before I cancel?
Well, we didn't have internet once we got down there. It was like we had internet at where we were staying at internet. Like we pretty much had to go to like Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi because it was 2015 and I didn't have a mobile plan that would work in Spain.
You have to get the international, right?
Well, I do now.
Yeah.
I do now. At the time, Sprint's international plan was atrociously expensive.
Oh, really?
Took his word for it, and we just didn't show up for the reservation because I didn't put any money down for it.
That's good.
And then when we got to the train station, it was like 80 euros a piece. I'm like, oh, I hate it. 80 fucking euros? Are you fucking kidding?
And you did make it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we all made it. Like, plenty of time to spare. You know, he made his flight. Me and the other person checked into my hotel, power napped, and then went out and hit Madrid for a while.
You like it?
I love Spain. Have you been?
I've never been to Spain. I've been to London. I've been to France, Paris, and Australia.
We're in Australia.
Byron Bay.
Okay. Where is that?
It's by Queensland. It's like it's towards the Great Barrier Reef, like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a surfer town, and it's also the hemp capital. It was funny because I was looking because I went by myself. It was the first trip I was going to take. That was like an international trip that was by myself. But I wanted to go to Australia so bad, and I didn't like. It was so expensive that wasn't something that I could like just like say like grab a friend and say like come do because this was expensive. I had to like save up my money to actually do this. Although at the time that I went, it was the exchange rate was like almost 50 cents. Like so, it's so cheap. It was so cheap to go there.
It's still really expensive in their money when you get down there.
Now it's almost I think isn't it 1-to-1 now? Or more? It might be even more there.
When I went in 2014, it was like 75 US to $1 Australian dollar.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, really? So it was more.
So it was still favorable. It's actually $1 Australian dollar equals 67 cents.
Oh, okay.
Right now, so it's gone down a little bit, but it was $1 Australian dollar equals 75 US.
Okay.
So, but it was still $20 Australian for a cocktail.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So.
Oh, wow. So that'd be okay. Yeah. So when I went, it was really cheap. It was really cheap when I went. So everything was really cheap. I mean, like it was like half the price. Like if you want a massage, it was like half the price there when it was here. Like it's just crazy cheap. Everything was, and but I really wanted to go, and I couldn't didn't have anyone to go with, so I just said, "Fuck it, I'm going by myself." And it was the first trip, and I went, and it was like the first time I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to a restaurant. I'm gonna eat dinner by myself. I'm gonna do this by myself. I'm gonna do it." And I was like so determined to. I wanted to do these because all these things I was kind of scared of doing. Like I never gone to a restaurant by myself before, and like always felt so awkward. And it was super awkward. It is so awkward. But I was like, I'm gonna power through this. I'm gonna do it. This is all the things I need to do. But it was cool. But, I met people like right away.
The Australians are super friendly and they love Americans.
They're so cool. And like the one thing that was so obvious that was so different here is, especially here in LA, is how slow everyone moves there. Everyone's just going at a totally chill pace. Like it's like there's no hurry. There's no hurry to get anywhere. So like if you're waiting in line at the supermarket, the people who are like the person checking out with they'll be sitting there chatting for a long time, and there'll be a huge line, and no one in line cares that they're sitting there just chatting with the person. They're just like talking. No one cares. Then there's me going like, oh my god, what's taking so fucking long? God damn it, it's taking so. And then I literally had to stop myself going like, wait, why am I stressed out right now? Why is this stressing me out? I'm like, this is no reason. I'm like, I have nowhere to be. Why am I stressed out right now? It's like that whole mentality that you need to hurry up, get the. But everyone else in line who's like, they're just like, whatever. I'll get there when I get there. It doesn't matter. And I'm just like, that's such a great way of thinking, because you can imagine like how much like that's just like all the stress that's like slowly killing us that you don't have.
Yeah, it's not slowly killing me. It's killing me pretty quick.
Yeah.
I just like, no, the light is green. Fucking go through it.
I know, it's like, what?
Go the fuck through
I'm
the
like,
light.
hello, what are you fucking sleeping over there? It's like, what the hell? It's like, wait.
I am the driver that like, if you are not moving 10 seconds after that light goes green, I'm honking.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god, that's one of my biggest pet peeves are actually the people who are like, you like literally just pause a millisecond and there's already somebody pounding on the horn trying to get like, I'm like, dude, I know. Give me a second. Like it's like, is that you?
That's me.
Yeah.
I honk at people about that. I honk at people that don't pull into the intersection when they're making a left.
Oh, I hate that. It's like, dude, go. Just go.
Right. Well, neither one of us is really going to be able to turn until it turns yellow. But As many of us as possible need to make it through that yellow.
I know.
And if you're not in the intersection, someone else ain't making it.
And so there's like, what, one person per light?
Yeah.
That is really annoying.
Or the people that like slow to a complete stop to make a right. No turn signal, like complete stop to make a right. Like, you don't have to stop, motherfucker. Just make the goddamn right.
Yeah.
Make the fucking right.
Or people who stop at it yields.
Yeah, when no one's coming.
Yeah.
It's like, LA is a huge car culture. We are stuck in our cars for fucking ever. Don't make it any goddamn worse.
I know. Or people who are sleeping when the light turns. That's the thing. I have a problem with my horn. Like, I don't like to do it unless it's absolutely necessary. And so it's always the people who are like, you're like, the light's so long, and it's like there's so much traffic, the light's so long, and we're waiting, and the person's literally sleeping at the wheel, and so the light turns green, and they're not moving. And I'm always
because they're probably texting.
They're probably, yes. And so I'm like sitting there going like, okay, you're gonna go any second. I'm like, I don't want to have to use my horn. I don't want to have to use my horn, but I will. God damn it, I'm using it.
Yeah, it's fucking obnoxious.
I do give people the benefit of the doubt, and then like right when you're about to go through it, turns like yellow. I'm like, God damn it, I'm making it. I'm going through it. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't give them the benefit of the doubt at all. Fuck them. Fucking in the car too much. Fucking drive.
Yeah, it's true. It gets really frustrating, and people just don't know how to drive.
No, people will try to box you in when you try to merge. Like, I just picked my buddy up at LAX the other day. Like, trying to get out of the lane. I have my signal on to show that I'm coming out, and people will just try to like, dude, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Or like if you're trying, like there's a ton of traffic, then this like it's like bumper to bumper, and you're trying to get over into the lane, and there's this one time it was in the early morning, and I was like going to the airport or something, and I'm trying to merge into the lane, and I end up just getting a little window with this guy, and I just like go in front of him, and he starts screaming out of his window at me. I'm like, dude, really? I'm like, you're really gonna get that mad because I went in front of you because you weren't letting anybody else in, and everybody here has to be able to get into this lane. It's not just me. But he was so angry, and I'm like, you need to chill out. You really do, because it's like stuff like that. It's like there's nothing you could do about it. People are gonna get into that lane because everybody needs to merge over. There's not like, what are we supposed to do? Just sit here and wait for there to be like a huge fucking gap for us to get in? It's like it's not gonna happen.
No, not at all.
The hours of this time and this time.
Not at all.
I mean, it's like it's and people who just like they see you coming and that you need to merge over, and they go faster so that you can't.
Yeah, I hate those people. It's like,
It's like, I mean, it's so funny because I appreciate people who are like nice and they actually like will slow down and let you in. I'm like, oh my God, it's a nice person. Oh my God, thank you. Like,
I hate when like because I will slow down and let people in. Like, if I see you have your signal on, yeah, come on in, man. But if it's really heavy traffic and like there's not even an acknowledgement that I let you in, it's like, all right, I see how it is.
yeah.
I see how it is. Just reaffirming my lack of faith in people.
That's the person who slams the door in your face when you're going through it, doesn't think about it, or you're like, see, no, I would have just held it open in just a second more, just to say, yeah, here, I'll hold it open for you. But then you see me coming, and you're just gonna close it, and it's just gonna
right, or hitting the close button on the elevator as you see me coming.
Yeah.
Dick.
It's like you really need that extra millisecond, do you?
Apparently they do.
Yeah.
But on that note, Ryder, it's actually about that time we're gonna call last call on this motherfucker. We've been at this for 2 hours already.
Well, so I'm getting kind of hungry, so I kind of felt like it might have been.
Awesome. So, where can they find you on the narcissistic internet?
Twitter. Oh, it's getting them confused. My brain's not working. See, my brain's stopping, and now this is where it stops. My Twitter account is Ryder Skye XXX, and Instagram is the real Ryder Skye, and my website is ryderskye.com. And yeah, that's what I have up right now.
No OnlyFans, no Is My Girl.
My OnlyFans is not up at the moment.
Oh.
But that's not to say that I won't be starting it up again. But yes, OnlyFans is Ryder Skye XXX, I think.
You can find me at Matt_Slayer on Twitter, Matt Slayer on Instagram, Matt F. Slayer on Facebook. You can find the podcast at And Now We Drink on Twitter, and Now We Drink _ on Instagram. And until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.